Hey, D Hex, I see you requested to speak. Are you are you a builder around here? Apologies.
Hey KG, thanks for putting this all together, mate.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for being a part of it. What's up, Tetra?
Yeah, I'm representing Tetra with Neil for T-shares. So I think Stu sent you guys a message last night. You may not have grabbed it.
Perfect. Okay, cool. What's up, Crypto Crunch?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and drop down whoever's not a builder for now. We're going to go into some updates from the projects, and then we'll open up the floor for anybody to jump up and ask any questions they may have. So, and D-Hex, as far as you and Neil for T-shares, I'm going to let one of you decide which one's going to be up here because we have several more people joining as well. So we're going to keep the spaces open.
Yeah, I'm happy for Neil to come up. He's got a bit more technical than I do. So I'll drop down.
Cool, cool.
Thanks. I'll take over DX.
All right, yeah, we'll get things kicked off here in just a minute, just getting everybody up. Walrus, welcome to the panel.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? Appreciate you as always, brother KG, getting us lined out.
Yes, sir. It's an honor. I really enjoy doing this. Yeah, make sure if you're out there, tweet out the space. Let everybody know we're live. I see more people joining in every second, so still waiting on a couple builders to show up. Crypto Heartbeat, I see you out there. I see Toshi Flow. I see NFT on Pulse, Long Vacation. I see Super Stake. Request the mic. Let's get you up here. Hey, Jesse, if you're going to be around for a minute, I'm going to make you co-host. You cool with that?
Yeah, sure. I'm good with that.
Cool. Crypto Heartbeat, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Good to see you. Long Vacation, Super Steak, what's going on? How's it going?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
Good evening, KG. How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for being here. I'm still rounding in.
It's a rather classy panel.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Thankfully, you can't see me dripping my Pabst Blue Ribbon then, right?
No, it's super classy.
Come on, I won a Blue Ribbon about, I don't know, 100 years ago.
It is on record though. I have managed to get LV and Jesse both to drink a proper old fashioned.
Oh yeah.
Walrus is a classy guy. Don't let him fool you otherwise.
Don't let the hair fool you, right?
All right, I'm gonna play the horrible elevator music for just a few more minutes while we wait for the rest of the team to populate in here, and then we'll kick things off. Never mind. It won't let me do it. There we go. Oh, Fatty's in the building.
I will say I don't really drink much at all unless it's long vacation or Walrus shoving a drink in my hand.
That I believe, actually. Those guys, they're crazy.
It's not really that I'm a drinker. That's not my thing. It's actually that I'm just a momentum guy. And then I get excited. And then these guys don't calm me down. And everybody understands already if they spend time with me that you got to keep me like below a 6, because otherwise I just start to skyrocket. So it is what it is. None of y'all died yet.
No, if anything, man,
Hey,
I'm
guys.
more alive when I'm around you. Oh, hey, what's up, Fatty?
Hey guys, Buck here. Did you guys see this tweet from Richard a few minutes back? Have you guys talked about it?
No, not yet. Well, I'm sure we'll get into it.
I just read it.
I'll read it to you guys, and I'll try and put it in the nest for you. I'm really looking forward to PulseChain.com mainnet. Surely you've tested testnet v4 extensively and are totally ready for mainnet? ? You have your game plan ready? ? There looks to be extremely not much left to be done. PulseChain.com. That's from the big man himself.
What a perfect tweet for tonight. It's almost like he knew we were meeting for a Twitter space tonight.
Yeah, like literally, yeah, just before you started, 4 minutes before you started. Yeah, very, very, very well done, Richard. We hope you're listening.
Yes. All right. I'm going to pin that. There it is. Did that work? Yep. Should have worked. Nope. Didn't work. Tweet shared. Cool. There it is. Yep. Hope you are listening, Richard. We appreciate all you do. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and kick this off here in just a moment. And if any of the other builders decide to jump in, they can also, I see MCR369 request the mic. And we'll just start it. And if any of the other builders jump in, we'll pass the mic to them when they do get up here. And what we'll do is each one of the projects that is here represented tonight, we'll go through, give a quick 3-ish minute update on where we're at in the project. This isn't so much a, hey, everybody, we're brand new, here's what we're doing. It's here's where we're at, here's what's kind of been done, and here's what's to expect next. And each one of the projects will give a little update. If you're out there listening and you have any questions for any of the projects, feel free to come up and ask. But the purpose of this space isn't to deep dive into any one project. It's to see that, yes, things with PulseChain mainnet itself are happening. Things from the third-party teams that are building on PulseChain are happening. And not only are they happening, but they're happening in a unified way. We are all building and collaborating and supporting each other. And that's one of the really beautiful things about PulseChain that I don't see happening on many other, if any other chains. This is a group of teams that is coming together and, again, supporting each other. So after everybody gives their update, we'll just open the floor to a pure AMA, and any crypto questions, PulseChain questions, if you want to unpack where we're at, what's going on, we'll do our best to answer and provide insight. So again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. And we're going to go ahead and kick it off with Coast. They're going to give us the first update. Where are you at? Everybody's excited about what you're doing, Coast.
Hey KG, hey everyone. It's Resolute from Coast. Thanks for putting this together, mate. And Buck, to your comment about Richard's tweet, it certainly got us all pretty excited here this morning. To echo what you've said, KG, we're definitely one of the teams building on PulseChain, and we very much see ourselves as complementary and hope to collaborate with anyone who feels our fiat on and off ramp can be useful to their user base. But look, I guess briefly, our goal is to find a way to provide a smooth and frictionless ability to on-ramp new economic energy to PulseChain. Now, you'll hear from other projects who have their own avenues and products to help deliver economic energy to PulseChain. And the way I see it and the way we see it as a team is, you know, the more ways that we can bring new users into the ecosystem, then the more it will flourish. We're pretty keen to talk this morning about our fiat on-ramp, but if I can briefly just tidy up a few comments around the wait-free claim. So remember, everyone who's eligible, claim before PulseChain mainnet. There may be somewhat of a rush on that now after Richard's tweets. At the moment, we've got about 30,000 claimers, still have about 10,000 token holders. And if you want any information, Twitter's probably the best space. We've got videos and info threads there that are pinned. We know the claim process is gas heavy. I guess the difficulty there is mirrored by the fact that PulseChain is such an opportunity for all of us to be involved in. For the last time, I'll emphasize, you know, your SAC wallet is to be treated as highly valuable. So, you know, make sure you check the audits, talk to Pulse Police, look at YouTube videos, be really careful with not only our free claim, everyone's free claim. You know, there's going to be a lot of attention coming to those on PulseChain. There'll be many scams. Be really careful. To the main message for today, we wanted to give you all a update on our fiat on and off ramp. So first of all, the fiat on ramp is built, and you know, it's been quite a process creating a product that interfaces with both the traditional and legacy system as well as DeFi. We're really glad that we're going to be able to bring that, what we think is critical infrastructure to PulseChain, but it's certainly been a process that's opened our eyes a lot. So I guess a few important points to get across before we move on to the next team is, so we've actually built more than a simple DeFi on-ramp. People who use our product will have a digital account supported in many countries. It'll be able to will be able to custody fiat or initially Ethereum-based crypto. But we've also designed it such that it can be as self-custodial as possible, so it can just facilitate a on-ramp from your bank account straight to on-chain. Some updates in terms of where we're at from a process point of view. So compliance with our banking partners being passed. We're currently in a 5-person alpha test where we essentially have 5 customers completely utilize the product openly with our banking partner involved. That's all going fine, and then the plan will be to launch the on-ramp supporting USDC on Ethereum. The reason for that choice and why we won't be launching our own fiat-backed stablecoin is the majority of Hex and the RH ecosystem liquidity is bonded to USDC, so it seems to make the most sense to just allow the user base to invest and utilize the stables that are most used within our investor group. In terms of jurisdiction, so we are initially approved for onboarding USA and UK customers. We have a final legal approval meeting tomorrow, and you're expecting an approval for both Australia and Canada. And then we've got a relatively well-oiled process by which we're bringing on new jurisdictions with our legal team. So we've got that process down, going well, and we're extremely committed to servicing as much of the crypto world as we can. I mentioned that the initial product will be a simple USDC on-ramp. Coming probably in Q3 will be a direct Hex on-ramp, and as well as some increased functionality like regular buys that you can set, as well as, you know, entity registration for accounts for those who like to invest via entities such as businesses. 3 final bits of knowledge around the on-ramp. So whenever we mention KYC, some members of the community, you know, get a little concerned, but I guess the reality is, if you imagine walking into a bank and creating an account, we're essentially trying to create a product for you as powerful or more powerful as that. So there is definitely a requirement for KYC. We use the industry leader Socure for that. The process will be extremely simple. You receive a text message from them, open up a link. Within that browser, you'll be able to upload a photo of an identification, and it itself will take a photo of you. As long as you have spelt your name and address the same on your registration with us and the Socure identification photographs, then there should be, 99% of people will have a seamless verification within 2 minutes. The last few things are our on-ramp will support credit and debit cards, wire transfers, and bank transfers. And in terms of fees and limits, our fees will be lower than our DeFi competitors, and there'll be inbuilt incentivization for those who support the RH ecosystem more broadly. There, in terms of limits, we've also gone to the effort to make sure there are no limits in terms of the amount of money you can bring in on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, and that applies to off-ramping as well. I don't want to take up anyone else's time because there's some great teams that are doing great work on PulseChain. As I said, we'd like to be somewhere that you can send people when they watch the Highest of Stakes documentary, or when you onboard them to Hex or PulseChain, where they can come. It's a simple product. It's a smooth product. There's no distractions like trading or leverage, and they can bring their economic energy to PulseChain and win with all of us. So if you want to find us, come to Twitter at 0xcoast. Our website, which is under development, is 0xcoast.com. And we have a Telegram group that is t.me/coast0x. So thanks again, KG, for hosting the Twitter space. I think Walrus might be up next. So looking forward to hearing what everyone's up to. Cheers for that.
Great update from the Coast team. You are building not only awesome technology, but you're building critical technology. If we want those bags to do the rocket ships and the moon launches, we've got to bring new economic energy in, but also we have to give people the ability to bring their economic energy out of the chain. Because as much as we want crypto to be the world's currency, right now you can't pay your car payment or your house payment or even buy your food with crypto in most places. So fiat on-ramping and off-ramping is critical infrastructure, and we appreciate you jumping through all the hoops that none of us even want to imagine. Probably nightmares, literal nightmares. I don't even want to think about it. So thank you and your team for doing that.
Thanks, KG. Look, there's certainly a few stories to tell when all this is working flawlessly, and we're into the next bull market, having a beer at the next conference meetup. So anyway, thanks again for organising it. We're certainly very happy to play our part, and happy to be what we think is key piece to onboarding people to PulseChain. So cheers for that.
Likewise, man. Looking forward to meeting you. All right, Walrus, I'm going to pass the mic to you, brother. The floor is yours.
Appreciate it, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Coast guys, I've had a few opportunities to have conversations with them. They're a fantastic team. And again, I just want to quickly echo some of those same sentiments that KG and Stoic there have said. Like, sure, there's certain things we don't want KYC in, but there's certain aspects of the world that are always going to have those types of rules, regulations, statutes, and we want avenues for all those players to come in, right? So we want to make sure that we protect all of the anonymity, privacy that we can, decentralization, lack of censorship. We want all those things there, but there's always going to be routes where we want to touch more traditional markets or legacy markets. There'll be players that prefer different rules and regulations and security or different jurisdictions, and it's important that we have all those tools at our belt. So I promise that just from things that I've done on the side and the few conversations I have with the Coast guys, I promise you, trying to make crypto touch legacy is not fun. And so we definitely all owe those guys the tip of the hat. Yeah, then on to ourselves at L. So we have been doing a lot of outside marketing. I've been hitting a bunch of these events here recently, trying to do a lot of just sort of general outreach, touching a few of these other large infrastructure, API, all those kind of, again, just infrastructure stuff behind the scenes that we can reach out to. A lot of these players, one, we want them on the chain. We want to have all these resources, and also we want access to their networks and their door openers for a lot of other people as they have big clients and access to capital, all these kinds of things. So that's what I've been kind of focused on here recently. CC just dropped a video that had a little more in-depth update on us as far as all the little things that we have going on, but we are very, very close within the next couple of days of launching what will be a huge release, both the update on our V4 launch that will be public with our DApp, with all the improvements we've had there, integration with the Oracle. We'll have all the sort of just an absolute info dump on the Oracle itself. We have the website, really clean explainer video, some tutorials, just tons and tons and tons of stuff coming out. when we had the V3 quickly pivot to V4, it sort of just kind of changed a lot of teams' timelines, us especially, and we were just like, okay, we're going to have our next release basically be with everything. So this will have, again, the updated app, the Oracle integration, all these things. People that want to start having reporters, we're going to get that information out very quickly. I've already had a few people reach out to me, getting those things up quickly. So I'm very hoping that just in the next few days that we'll basically have just everything released. Yeah. So I mean, again, we'll have very much more to talk about here in just a couple of days. But it's definitely been a journey as these things swap over, trying to get archive nodes, GraphQL, all this sort of, again, some of this background stuff. Just you don't even realize how much is there until you start playing on a new chain and waiting on all these things to come together. Would like to shout out a couple of teams also, both the Power City guys that are up here and Magic Carpet Ride, having front ends coming available. That stuff's, again, important for all that type of decentralization and kind of what I was echoing with Coast. You want to have a lot of different voices. This is something that, as Matt and a lot of us have been rolling around, KG also talking to different people, like there's just a different audience for these things. So, PulseX has a slightly different audience. Everyone here has a different take. You want all these projects to be successful, whether they're doing similar stuff or completely different stuff. Me and Hexy Bastard were in a space. I think it was day before yesterday or so. I don't know. I've been traveling. So day before or so, just talking about, hey, their meme, lighthearted, fun, viral energy is very, very different than what you might get out of, say, like me and Jess and, LV, even really Stoic, some of these guys that are more, XYZ, slightly more technical, slightly more vanilla in our approach. They just have a little different energy, right? And we want to have all these audiences. We want to have all these products. And because all that energy ends up seeping in, right? So whether it's wallets, the dApps, stable coins, memes, NFTs, like we want all this stuff. We want all the energy in one place. And then I always try to shout out at the end, even if you're a Hex Maximus, all these things, if you want your store of value to have a lot of value in it, you have to have a lot of value created. So the more value that's on PulseChain, the more value that can eventually be stored in things that you care about. So even selfishly, if you don't hold these things, you want these people to be successful, right? So hopefully everybody's doing really well. We'll have, again, I would check out the video that CC just dropped. We have a huge release coming. I will say that just, again, quickly, I don't want to take up too much time. The last couple of events, it is very different with speaking with some of the people who are looking at investing in crypto. I think previously people in our minds, we always thought, hey, they're afraid of crypto. They're not afraid of crypto. They just don't know what to do yet. So the more outreach, the more communication, the more education, the more a lot of the founders and these people are out here just doing what they do best. There is money ready to come in. They're not scared of crypto. They just don't know what to do with it yet. And a lot of the people up here are the people who can speak to them and will help bring those funds in and that capital and make number go up, backs pump, all that fun stuff. So there's a lot being worked on. A lot of these teams are an absolute pleasure to be around. And thanks again, KG, for the space, man.
Yeah, thank you for your appreciation. Thank you for being here. And I do want to say something that I witnessed in Walrus at the Consensus 2023 crypto convention in Austin. This man does so much outside of everything he just spoke upon. He does so much that goes unseen. I saw him shake. I couldn't even tell you how many people he shook hands with. He was all over the place. Walrus is full go, always on, 100% of the time. He walks up to the group, he commands their attention, and he's talking PulseChain, he's talking liquid loans, he's talking regulation, he's talking crypto, he's talking about changing the game. And he was making some serious connections, putting in some serious work. And this guy right here, he knows his stuff. And it's very apparent when you see him talking to other people. They look up to him also as an authority of knowledge. So, man, thank you for everything you're doing for the community in the space. You are putting in the work. It's obvious.
Thanks, brother. Really, really appreciate it. A lot of that was the group being there with a ton of energy. It's just a huge amount of ambiance. Gary's in here as well. He absolutely crushed it. He definitely was teeing me up more often than not. So there was just a lot of work done by a big team there. And again, we're always trying to find places where there's value to be had, right? So we hit events, we do this, there spaces, right? Like we want all these voices, right? So some of us are better in person, some are conversational, some of us are great streamers. Just we want greatness, we want ability and time and talent and all those things to rise up. So yeah, there's a lot going on. It's an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Gary, Funding Jim. He was, again, he was putting in the work at that convention. People knew about PulseChain because of the little contingency we had running around. It was really cool to see and cool to spread the word. So shout out Funding Jim as well. All right, next up, we are going to pass the mic. If you're ready, we're going to go to Hexy Bastard. You ready there, my friend?
Yeah, brother.
Tell us about it.
What's up, everyone? Yeah, so I'm Hexy Bastard. I'm the founder of Core Pleb, PP token. We did our main run with that, like our sacrifice for that last year. Built up a really big community, and we were actually in the search of adding some utility to our zero utility ERC20. And my good friends over at the Pulse Doge, the OG Pulse Doge crew, I was talking to them about it, and they told me, hey, actually we're working on something right now. You might be interested in having PP listed on here. So they told me about this idea that they had of essentially the easiest way to describe it is a Pulse X fork, but it's actually not a Pulse X fork. It's using some of the fundamentals from Pulse X, but it's essentially a fork of PancakeSwap and Uniswap. But what they wanted to do was do a DEX on Ethereum and PulseChain, which mostly caters to the meme coin market. Now, I believe firmly that the meme coin market makes up 30 to 40% of the overall crypto space. Some people think it's more. I was just in a space with B Roots, and he's saying 50%. But hey ho. They wanted to do a DEX, and they told me about it, and I was immediately sold because it meant that I would be able to add utility to my token, and people could stake it, provide liquidity, and earn fees via farming or using the pools. I was immediately sold, and then we were going back and forth. I had some ideas, and they asked me if I would like to join them as a co-founder on this. We bounced a few brand ideas around, and then eventually we came up with the name, the amazing name of 9inch.io. It's like 1 inch, but bigger. Although not to be confused, we are not an aggregator, we are a DEX, and we're essentially going to be a fork of PancakeSwap, offering yield and utility to tokens that might not actually have it. So the whole idea behind this is to approach the meme coin market and to give them a place where they can essentially keep their tokens, earn yield, and in the form of our secondary token, our incentive token, which is called BBC. Now, you might ask yourself, why does PulseX need a competitor on the DEX? But there are a lot of reasons why you want PulseX to have a competitor on PulseChain. The main one being like price honesty and just having an opportunity for arbitrage. We benefit from the same tokenomics as PulseX, so there is going to be buy and burn on our 9-inch token, as well as a 0.01% fee, which goes towards buying up our incentive token BBC, which is definitely big bonus coin and nothing else. So yeah, essentially, but we are going to be launching this on Ethereum first because we want to attract them over on the Ethereum side, because that's where everyone is currently trading. We're going to have a big button on our website once PulseChain is launched saying, switch to PulseChain network. You may have free tokens here. And that's going to be a way that we get the meme coin crowd clicking on PulseChain, at least for the first time, and seeing what their balances are. But really, the whole game in this is volume. The more volume that we have going through our DEX, the more buy and burn pressure that we have on our 9-inch and our BBC tokens. And basically, that's the game. We want to attract the meme coin crowd. We want to introduce them to PulseChain. But even on Ethereum, I think I'm actually more bullish on this project on Ethereum than I am on PulseChain, honestly, because there's just so much potential there. There's not really a meme coin centric DEX, especially on Ethereum. So I think we're filling a massive hole in the market with 9 inches. I'm going to keep my pitch short and sweet. That's basically all I wanted to say, brother KG. So thank you for organizing the space. Thank you for having us on. I would encourage everyone who has any questions about our DEX to join our Telegram, which is t.me/DEX 9-inch. Thank you, sir.
Man, thank you for bringing your 9-inch BBC to the chain. We appreciate that. Always needed. And actually, I'm gonna set up a stream with Hexy Bastard sometime, hopefully next week, to deep dive into that a little more because I myself want to learn about it. I love to get educated about every aspect of crypto. It helps me become a more rounded individual, but also I like to spread the information about the cool builders in our community because every single one of us that's building is going to attract a different person. So thank you to Hexy Bastard, to you and your team for putting in the work, getting it done.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. So next up, if you're ready, I'm going to go to Crypto Heartbeat. If you're there and if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
KG, thanks so much. Appreciate it so much. Well, special shout out to Richard Hart for having such great timing with those last two tweets, which were incredible, and that should get everyone excited. I want to remind everyone, the reason I'm here, and probably the reason you're here, is because this is a vertically aligned ecosystem, and all of the builders, thank you so much for being here and being a part of this, because together, obviously, we win. But myself and Brandon from Rags to Riches are part of a team with a large group who is focused on tokenizing communities. We have two projects that'll be on the PulseChain. The first one is Texan, and this is where we tokenize the community of the Texas Nationalist Movement, which is about 500,000 members. And then over in the Philippines, Ophir Crypto, which is focused on about 5,000 churches within the Philippines and is expanding from there. And then we identify organizations and groups where there are centers of trust that exist currently and bring crypto to them. And so we utilize our contract, which utilizes staking and scraping. You can find out more information at texan.cc or ophircrypto.com. And our primary focus is bringing no coiners into crypto in general, but especially into the PulseChain ecosystem. Freedom and sovereignty is a core value that we have in our team, and we believe that with the rise of CBDCs and digital IDs and social credit scores, that we have to have a place to transact that supports free speech, free movement, free transactions, the ability for us to do business and have an alternative to the existing centralized players. And I think that's going to become more and more critical as time goes on. And so for those of you who are sporting the PulseChain or watching the PulseChain, this is going to be the place. We have a founder in Richard Hart who believes in a vertically aligned ecosystem that has this layer one, a DEX like PulseX, incredible stores of value like Hex and many of the projects here, as well as giving us the opportunity to run on some rails, these rails of the PulseChain for builders to build infrastructure. So it's incredible to be a part of a team, and to think there's at least 150 projects on the PulseChain is just, it's definitely a bullish sign. But our focus moving forward, we're going to be doing some things with a DEX. We were going to call it 8inch.io, but I heard that somebody was going to do 9inch, so we decided not to use that name. So we're going to go in a whole different direction there. But Hexy Bastard, appreciate what you're doing. But we're excited about the PulseChain. We believe that it's going to be the sovereign alternative to the CBDCs, and so with that, focused on working with and identifying additional communities. We're specifically focused on independence movements in the world, places like the Western Cape of South Africa, Scotland, Alaska, different areas around the world want to have their own value. And we believe that if there's 3 to 5% of the population that has or is in crypto currently, there's such opportunity for folks to be onboarded into the PulseChain where the first principles of crypto are supported. And so, that's what we're all about. And we think there is a lot of blue ocean for us with those who already believe together, already in community, already have trust, and we can bring something that they can decree their own value. So I just appreciate the fact, KG, that you're providing leadership into this. Folks like Gary from Funding Gym helping encourage everyone to go to consensus, supporting the PulseChain. This is the most incredible community of people because they're like family. And so I appreciate everything that everyone's doing and just excited about the future of what the PulseChain means for not only growing value, but also for defending freedom and sovereignty across the world. So KG, appreciate all you do.
Thank you for the kind words. Well spoken, well said. If you're familiar with Anchorman, you are undeniably this community's Ron Burgundy, and we could not do it without you.
Thanks, KG, man. That's great. I'll get the mustache going. Thanks, man.
No, truly, you were doing great work out there at Consensus as well, making great connections. You were a great presence, and you continue to be that force of stability and groundedness and reasonableness. And you put out great content through your streams. You're doing awesome work through Texan, and man, keep it up. You truly are an asset to the community.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
KG, do you mind if I just ask Crypto Heartbeat one quick question?
You go for it.
Did you like the meme that we did of you the other day, sir?
Yes, I'm a good sport. I think a lot of people think I'm some, old crusty guy, but little do you know. So I appreciate you so much.
I love it.
Excellent. Thanks.
I love it. All right. Next up, Fatty, Mr. Buck. If you're ready, I'm going to pass the mic to you.
Hello, everybody. Yep. So it's Buck Fiat here. I'm just on my fatty.io account today, which you guys should follow. I guess today there's obviously a few things that we're doing. I'll list them quickly. We've launched fiat.io on Ethereum, so you can now leverage and short Hex on Ethereum. It's a first for this community. You can do that with Hedron as well, and everything's running quite smoothly. We've got very tight constraints on that product at the moment, just because we're expecting a lot of volatility because of what's upcoming with mainnet. And indeed, just while we've been talking, I think Hex has probably gone up about 10%. So pretty solid pump there. We're launching a fork of Aave on both Ethereum, which is already up, and on PulseChain. That's our fiat fork. We're also launching a fork of GMX on PulseChain. That's called famous.io. That's moving along nicely, and it's where most of our energy is being focused by our core dev right now. We're also launching a DEX and giving it away for free to you guys called PHUX. This is a balancer fork. We think it's going to help hopefully improve things like Maximus, which don't have a lot of liquidity, but we think are really cool, and all the perps. That's going to allow you to basically trade those things in a single pool up to 8 different tokens. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be giving that away to select groups of people in a variety of ways over the coming months. We think this will be probably the second biggest or third biggest DEX on PulseChain. And as I said, you'll be getting it for free, which is pretty exciting. And then lastly, we've got the fatty.io. What we're doing here, I'm sort of combining a bunch of different things that I don't think serve our community very well. One of them being debank or things like Zerion or Zapper, which don't tend to support Hex staking. So it sort of started out with me just saying, well, fuck that. I want to have my own version of this where we actually have that. But then we lost Nomics. So now we've kind of added in price feeds and things like that. And recently we've also added in social media stuff. And basically the idea here is this is just going to be a portal that's, kind of all the useful things that you might want in one place, and links directly to all the useful stuff as well. So, we're going to be supporting all of your projects as we work through them as they come online. So, we're going to be supporting Power City and Liquid Loans and Internet Money and, all the kind of whatever's notable in the community, and there'll be links that'll get you there quickly. But yeah, please go check it out, fatty.io. This is a free thing. I'm putting a lot of time and energy into it. and hopefully you guys will find it useful. You can basically add up all your wallets together, see, what your total T-shares are across all your different wallets. If you like stocking whales, you can go to Whale Watch and look at what the big whales are doing. You can create portfolios of whales and basically look at how they're moving their money around, what's happening. So that's quite fun. If you're a good-looking, attractive person, do a hashtag fatty in your tweets or in your YouTube videos, and you'll come up in that social media feed. That's a fun little feature that we've added. Just gives it's nice to have a few good-looking people on a website. So that's always really appreciated. Those of you guys that are out there. But yeah, we're super busy and really excited for mainnet. And I guess I'll conclude just by saying something that I say with every one of these streams that we do, KG, which is that I really believe that it is, a bit of the Metcalfe's law that we're basically the sum of all of our parts. And basically the more stuff we go out and build, and the more people that we go address, and the more people that we talk to, the more valuable Hex ultimately becomes, right? So I really believe that all these products, will ultimately transmit value to Hex and PulseChain, and I think we're all on the same ship together in that regard. So a lot of people want to think, oh no, I like this guy's project and not this guy's project. I would argue that the majority of it, that doesn't really matter. What matters is just that we go out and we build stuff that brings value to PulseChain. And a lot of this stuff will be terrible. A lot of this stuff will go very badly. We don't know. We don't know what yet, but we should still go out and try and do things because that's the beauty of capitalism. We'll find out who's competent and who does a good job in the coming months. Yeah, I'm really excited. So thank you, everybody, for being here, and KG for setting this up.
Thank you, my good sir. And yeah, thank you also for everything you and your team is building. You are building several key features or functionality protocols for the chain. And you said it really well in that every single facet that gets built for PulseChain just makes PulseChain more dynamic and therefore attracts a different kind of user. And the more users we attract to PulseChain, because we have different things they can play with, the more robust the chain is going to be and the more successful the chain is going to be. So well said. I agree with you completely on that point. All right. Next up, we're going to go down to, let me take a quick intermission because we just doubled in size in the space. Thank you, everybody, for joining. So what's going on here is we have representatives from various different projects being built on, around, for PulseChain and Hex here, talking about just quick project updates of where we're at as a project. And then we're going to transition into a full AMA. You can ask any one of us a question. If it's about the project, we'll answer it, but we're not going to deep dive into any one project. That's not the point of this space. But you could also ask us questions about PulseChain, about crypto, whatever it is. We're here to be a unified force for the community, bring our collective brain power together, and show the world that PulseChain is here to play and here to stay. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Neil for T-shares, if you're ready to talk about the updates with Tetra.
Thanks, KG. I appreciate that, man, and everything you've done putting the space together. And first of all, I want to thank every one of these builders in the community for making such awesome products that we all look forward to utilize on PulseChain. Without these awesome protocols, PulseChain will launch empty, and we really need these things. And I really appreciate the hard work everybody's put in making these things. That being said, some of you guys may not know me as Neil for T-shares. I've taken up recently a more prominent role in the Tetra development team. I'm not a dev, but I'm helping Stu out. Basically now being the face of Tetra, doing live streams and stuff like that to give him a little more time to work on the development side of Tetra. For those of you who don't know what Tetra is, if it's new to you, Tetra is going to be a software as a service that will allow anyone to automate strategies on the blockchain, specifically PulseChain when it launches. So anything you can do manually with your any protocol on the blockchain, Tetra will allow you to automate that and come up with different strategies to utilize all these wonderful protocols and their services they're going to offer us. And so we look at ourselves as we want to be the glue that binds all these protocols together. Like we said earlier, that we're all in this together and we need to work together to make this blockchain successful. And we want Tetra to be the tool that people use to facilitate the transactions in an automated way to give you your time back. As far as an update on our development, we are the protocol's development side is functioning as it's supposed to. The actual workings of the background of the technical side is fully functional. It's been tested. Right now, we're in the user interface development phase, and in about the end of this month, we're going to have a display and a showpiece to show people the user interface, how it looks, how Tetra is going to work. That'll be available on several mediums, on Telegram and on YouTube and stuff like that. And we will allow eventually, right after that's done, we'll allow some testnet. We'll be doing videos on the tutorials, how to use the user interface. And eventually we'll be able to have it out as a beta test for everybody on testnet, regardless if PulseChain launches immediately or not. So people can have time to utilize it. Our target goal date is still set for August 31st. We will launch, assuming PulseChain launches by then, and it'll be ready for everybody to use. And if you have any questions, we can come check us out on Telegram at t.me/go Tetra, and we're there to answer any questions. And if you and we also have a strategy group. If you have any questions about strategies, you can go to the strategy group at I think it's t.me. Let's see what this one is. It's t.me /Tetra strategy community. So feel free to come by. And if any of the developers want to know more about it, please feel free to contact us. We'll help you. Our goal is to be basically we're protocol agnostic, so we don't pick sides or anything. We don't push one thing over the other, but we're just here as a service for everyone to use to automate their DeFi strategies on PulseChain.
That sounds awesome, and there's definitely value in simplicity. One of the greatest hurdles that everybody getting into crypto has to overcome is that there's nothing simple about this. So any mode of simplicity that we can achieve is definitely beneficial for the ecosystem. So thank you to you and your team. Up next, we have three projects left to go. We're going to go ahead and pass it over to Superstake. If you're ready, give us a quick update of where you're at.
Thank you, KG. We are live on Superstake's live on PulseChain testnet v4. We've just completed our first rolling hex stake and commenced the second. We're going to be live on PulseChain testnet v4 this week, being tested by the community. After that, we're going to submit the code for audit by Block Solutions. And then when we get that back, assuming there are no issues, we will be launching on Ethereum mainnet. And we're Superstake.win is the world's first zero tax daily dividend token that pays out Hex both daily and bi-monthly, excuse me. It's a true utility built on top of Hex. The contract distributes yield by using and investing in Hex as well.
Very cool. More utility around Hex, the better. All right, thanks for the quick update. I'm going to pass it to Magic Carpet Ride and then Just Ask Jesse. So Magic Carpet Ride, if you're ready, tell us about what you've got going on.
Thanks, KG, and thanks for everyone attending. KG, thanks for running these spaces. Attended them all; they're amazing. Also, having the Builders Guild, I think this is something. It's a testament to this community. Definitely unique. I believe that we are definitely stronger together, and seeing just the teams talk and discuss in that group and in here is definitely something that I'm proud and feel privileged to be part of. So I appreciate you guys, and particularly KG, for showing the initiative to set up that, and to all the guys that go to events like Consensus and are reaching outside of our community. It's just super bullish for the future of PulseChain, PulseX, Hex, and the whole ecosystem. Shout out to all the teams. You're all building amazing things. Fatty's wallet, use it every day. If you're not using it, go support it. It's amazing, agnostic for everybody. So yeah, I know that there's a lot of people in here, so I'll try and keep this brief. We are building at the moment. We have 4 things on our plate: MCR 369, Steakhouse, Bistro, and our latest one is Barista. So I'll just give you a quick flyover because we have got a lot to get through, and I'm sure there's still more to go in this room. So MCR is basically our hub. That token is a hub for everything that we build. Basically, you stake that in our protocol, and you'll earn yield in the form of, for now, ETH on Ethereum, Hedron Hex, Pulse on PulseChain, Hedron Hex. In the future, there will be other tokens that you will earn by staking that token. So it's basically the hub of everything we do. All of our dApps have no admin keys, immutable, trustless, just like Richard has taught us. Steakhouse. Basically, Steakhouse, from our experience, our own personal experience, we started trying to work this out over a year ago when we were affected by end stake fees. And then along the way, started facilitating community pools and realized the community is very strong, and together we can achieve great things. And that was something we realized through our experience in running those community pools. So then we wanted to address how do we come up with a solution for the end stake fees with Hex. So we decided to put our heads together with a few brainiacs within the community over the last year in the background, and came up with self-directed Hex staking pools. So anyone can start them, join them. It'll be very social, a lot of social stickiness. You get the bigger pays better, earn Hedron, enter exit pool positions, save on gas. Again, no admin keys, immutable, all that good stuff. Super net positive for Hex as we try and get more Hex off the market. And that will be running on 2 chains, Ethereum and PulseChain. When we were designing Steakhouse, we had some challenges. One of those was with all the different pools, you have a receipt token for every pool. So in that, it's going to be really hard to have liquidity and LPs on DEXs. So we decided to build our own OTC marketplace. It started out as originally just going to be for that token, where people could actually buy and sell complete positions or percentage of positions within any pool. But then we decided why not just build that out to incorporate all ERC20s and PRC20s. So obviously that'll be running on Ethereum and PulseChain as well. Recently, we decided we've worked pretty closely with the LL team ever since we facilitated the community pool. We've got a great relationship with those guys. And so we decided to try and complement them with a liquid loans front end. There is obviously their own, and Power City are running one. We will be offering a slightly different twist on that front end. So I think there's room for everybody, and we'll not be competing with with Power City or anyone else that chooses to do a front end. Just adding additional features that aren't there at the moment. And we are working directly with the Liquid Loans team, their devs and our devs, to make that happen. That's pretty much it.
Great update. Thank you for everything for you and your team. You have been around since the beginning, running the pools, being a trusted face, force, team within the community. Supported us since day one. You've supported many other projects since day one, gave early projects a voice. So thank you to you, Triplet Dad, everybody else on the MCR team. Really appreciate you, brother. Thank you for all the good work. All right. Now, actually, I made a mistake. We also have the original Pulse Doge team. What you got for us, OG Pulse Doge?
Whoop, whoop. Oh, snap. I can keep it very brief. Number one, I'm actually not much of a speaker, and it's 4 a.m. where I am, and I've been up 22 hours, actually. But very shortly, we are the Pulse Doge, OG Pulse Doge team. We launched on Binance in 2021. Our chart made a fantastic 7,000x within 3 months. And later, we moved on to Ethereum. And we're currently co-founders together with Hexy Bastard and the Poor Pleb team, where we are building a DEX called 9inch, which most of you kind of know about now. Great pitch from Hexy Bastard. 9inch is basically a similar product to Pulse X. I can say the biggest difference between them will be that we are more community focused. I think we will be the ones that will list the PulseChain projects and the tokens created by the community, while Pulse X will be more for the RH products. And we're offering single staking for basically any token out there. Like if there's a token that doesn't have any utility, 9inch is a perfect place for them to get listed, to get staking pools, and to get yield farming pools. That will bring both liquidity and hopefully buying pressure to those tokens. There will be an option where you can lock up the tokens as well. We're going to offer a single staking pool for Hex, where on Ethereum, where you can single stake your Hex, and you can have basically an open stake there. You don't have to lock up your Hex. You can take them out whenever you want, and it's not costing you more gas the longer you are staked. And the reward you're getting, you're earning profit in the BBC token. So it's going to be a different token. You're not causing any inflation to Hex. We are running a sacrifice phase for this. And once we hit the 999 members in the Telegram group, which is DEX 9inch, then we're going to release the sacrifice details, let that run for a very short while, and launch the product directly on mainnet. We'll be launching on Ethereum and also on PulseChain. That's basically it, man. I'm really not much of a speaker. If anybody got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Hey, that's all right. Thank you for the update. Great to meet you finally. And let's go ahead and pass the mic to Jesse. What do you have for us from Power City?
All right, y'all. So a really good panel of builders here that have tools and services and things that people like or need. And we need all this stuff on PulseChain, right? A whole blockchain cannot thrive with 1 or 2 tokens, right? If there was just 1 or 2 tokens, one protocol, then it's just hexagons passing value back and forth across to each other, right? Constantly. What we need is mass adoption. We need simple tools and services that make blockchain easy, that help facilitate various things. And a lot of the panelists here, that's exactly what they're doing. So thank you all. Over at Power City, that's exactly what the team set out to do at the beginning. A list of tools and services was created that other blockchains have, and quite frankly, have a lot of volume and good use cases. At the core of all this, there is the core where users can buy and stake or claim and stake Watt tokens, and those stakers will receive revenue, not inflation, revenue, a portion of the revenue from all of the various things that Power City has built. Those stakes, they're going to sound kind of familiar in their function. They're transferable. You can merge them. You can add to them. There are some unique things about these stakes. You can actually stake your PLP tokens also for a share of all the fees. There's various bonuses for certain types of staking that you can do, and there's tier levels. Okay, you can check all this out, the core where all the fees flow, on PulseChain testnet v4 at core.powercity.io. Now, the things feeding that core are the tools and services. So the first thing that was premiered was portalxswap.io. That was made possible through a couple of our partners, both Multichain and Rubik. Worked very closely with us. We built some things for them, and then in turn, they're facilitating bringing some contracts over to PulseChain. What portalxswap.io does, it's on 64 different blockchains. It's a super aggregator. It's a giant search engine. It scans all the various blockchains, and it finds all the trade routes for the token that you have and the token you're trying to get into, and it displays them all to you, and it shows you, if you choose this route, this is the rate you'll get. If you choose this route, maybe you'll get a little worse rate. It also lists out all the various gas fees. When you choose your route, you're interacting directly with those various dexes or with those various bridges. We hold no tokens. It's still your keys, your coins. We don't house any liquidity ourselves. We're a super aggregator. There's some additional functions built into portalxswap.io, such as limit orders, such as revoking permissions. So we've added some safety functions that we think everybody should be doing, such as revoking permissions. You have to remember that PulseChain, coming to PulseChain is not going to be simple. You have somebody on Binance, for example, and if you try to get them to come into PulseChain, there's at least 7 to 10 transactions that they would have to do with tons of gas fees along the way and slippage along the way, and a lot of clicks and a lot of frustration until finally they land in PulseChain with the token that they want. So our aggregator facilitates that in just a couple different clicks. Anybody can come into PulseChain or leave PulseChain or go to any blockchain for that matter in just a couple different clicks. It routes everything through existing dexes and bridges, so it will still, it's not a competitor or anything to PulseRamp. It'll route straight through there. There's buy and burn side effects on PulseX that happen from that. And remember, there's fees and all these things. These fees flow all the way through all these 64 different blockchains and land in the hands of the stakers, many of which are going to be all on PulseChain. So it not only brings value to PulseChain, but it brings lots of users easily into PulseChain. All right, so that's live, 100% live. You can use it right now. Check it out, portalxswap.io. So the next thing in the pipe after you've seen the core and you've seen portalxswap, we have a front end for liquid loans, and it's also on top of Earn protocol. It could be used on top of Liquidity, although the gas fees over there are ridiculous. Okay, so at this point in time, it doesn't necessarily make sense to launch it on top of Liquidity. The amplifier front end facilitates various strategies that you may choose for yourself. It has very targeted automation functions for liquidity forks. Okay, so that's built on top of liquid loans and also on top of our Earn protocol. Our Earn protocol is a liquidity fork that uses PulseX as the collateral. It is probably 1 to 2 days away from being able to tell you all the URL so that you can all go use it on PulseChain testnet. We've concluded our testing. Everything checks out, and it's time to launch this thing on V4 so everyone can use it. There's various staking mechanics in there, redemption mechanics. The way the stablecoins peg in liquidity, if you're not aware, is just absolutely amazing. LUSD has been the most stable coin out of all of them in all of the Black Swan events that happened over the past 2 years. We feel that Liquid Loans USDL, as well as PXDC from the Earn protocol, they're simply going to perform the same way because that's simply how it's coded with the redemption mechanism. So check that out. You can find us. One more thing. Pixel Park, that's in its rigorous testing phase right now. It'll probably be another month or two before we can debut that and release that to the community to check it out on testnet. That being said, our Telegram room is popping at Power City IO. Across all our social medias, YouTube, Twitter, Telegram, it's all the same. Power City IO.
Great update, Jesse. Power City team bringing absolute heat to PulseChain. Lots of essential infrastructure, and you're totally right about that. Again, going back to the ease of use point, you and your team are not only providing income generation opportunities for users, but you're also providing, or removing rather, barriers to entry. So great work to you and the Power City team. Keep it up. And we will go to NFT on Pulse. Then I will give an update on internet money. Then we will open the floor up to a general AMA where anybody in the audience can come up and ask their questions. So NFT on Pulse, floor is yours.
Thank you, KG. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. So I just want to give a short update on NFT on Pulse. It's going to be a robust marketplace coming to PulseChain. We've been building it out for the last year. I'm actually one of the founders of many. And also our other website that we created is howtopulse.com. So I just wanted to mention a little bit about the marketplace and the updates that we've been making. There's about 16 days left of the 10% airdrop, so everybody can qualify for that. We're coming to a closing on that. And most importantly, the marketplace is going to be very important because we're going to be into the Ethereum NFTs. So all the copies that are coming over to PulseChain, we're going to have a marketplace for them to be viewed. So that's an important thing that's coming there. And we're just continuing educating the community with howtopulse.com, building out blogs, tutorials, and just talking about PulseChain as we come closer to launch. NFT on Pulse is going to have V4 support. So we're going to be launching that in the next couple of weeks now, and we're looking forward to mainnet. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for having me.
Big, mega, hyper shout out to the How To Pulse team. You guys have been around since the very beginning. I can actually remember your site popping up maybe before the PulseChain sacrifice, but if not before, very close to the beginning. You've been a source of truth and support and giving projects a voice, making PulseChain easy to understand, being the arguably the central authority linking all the knowledge together. And that, even though it's that in and of itself, yes, you are building protocols and smart contracts and your NFT marketplace, but even that side of it goes unseen a lot of the time, I think, because that is just as important as all of this stuff. If people can't find this stuff or understand this stuff, none of this stuff matters. So again, thank you to you and your team for all that amazing information you put out there.
Thank you all for enjoying it.
All right, and I will go ahead and wrap up the builders portion of this space. Again, when I'm done giving my update about internet money, we're going to open up the floor to general questions. So feel free to request the mic if you want to hop on stage, and I will approve people as their position in line comes up. So my name is KG. I'm the founder of the Internet Money Wallet. We are the first and only wallet in existence that natively supports PulseChain. There is no other wallet on the face of this planet that you could download right now and be connected to PulseChain. We are effectively a MetaMask replacement in that when you download MetaMask and you're connected to Ethereum by default, when you download the Internet Money Wallet, you are connected to PulseChain by default. We have in-app swapping that supports PulseX natively. We, by default, have PulseX Hex preloaded into the wallet with logos ready to go. We are live on Android, iOS, and Chrome. You could download the wallet right now today, this very moment. I implore you, please download the wallet. Even if you don't make it your main wallet right this moment, test it out, try it out. It works on PulseChain testnet. It works on all the main EVM mainnets as well, all the EVM mainnets, not even the main ones. Getting listed on Apple, that is one of our big announcements today. That is a huge feat that I think goes unseen because I don't think a lot of people realize how much energy, time, and effort, and also lawyers and economic energy goes into battling Apple to get your application on that app store. Chrome is practically anybody can get listed. Android is a little more scrutinous, but Apple is by and large the hardest place for an application to get listed, especially crypto applications. In many ways, right now, it is crypto versus Apple. Simultaneously, while we were trying our wallet listed on Apple, which took a little over 6 months, Uniswap, right, who we can all agree is a huge player in the crypto space, they were fighting the same fight as well. And I think we were helping each other out without knowing it because we got listed in the same week. And so that was such a journey to do that. And that's a major win for the Internet Money Wallet, but also a major win for the Hex and PulseChain community because we now have representation on the single biggest app store in the entire world. There is no bigger app store, and there is no app store more trusted and more vetted than the Apple App Store. And PulseChain now has representation on that app store. That is major, major news for the PulseChain community. And so again, please download the wallet. And even if it's not your main wallet, give us your feedback, both good and bad. We're growing. We come from this community. We want to support this community. We want this community to grow and thrive. And another update we are working towards launching it next week. No sacrifice, no token, just a protocol that we're launching to help the ecosystem is the first and only Hex buy and burn. And I'm not going to dive into the technicals of how that works right now, but yes, it is possible. No, you don't have to. No, it's not. Again, no sacrifice, no additional token that you have to, again, sacrifice for. It is the first and only Hex buy and burn. It's going to buy Hex off the open market, and it's going to lock it away forever. Nobody can touch it. So if you like buy and burns, which I think this community does, then you should really like the first and only Hex buy and burn. And that is powered by the Internet Money Wallet. So we aim to launch that next week. And finally, if you would like to learn more about our wallet, how it's going to help PulseChain, how it's going to help crypto, and how it is the first tokenized wallet that allows you to earn passive income in the form of Pulse, ETH, BNB, and other native coins, you can find us in more information on our website, internetmoney.io, our Telegram, our YouTube, our Reddit, our Twitter, all at internetmoney.io. And with that will conclude the portion of this space dedicated to the updates from the builders. So I appreciate every builder that came up here and gave the update for their project, and every builder that is investing their time, energy, economic energy into making this thing real. So I see we have some requests there. Again, if you need questions for the projects, this is not a session to deep dive into any given project. We can answer some short, brief questions. If you have any questions about PulseChain, crypto, feel free to ask. It is an open space. All right, and actually, builders, if you don't mind, I need a few of you to step down just so I can bring up some people. If anybody has any questions for your project, I will absolutely bring you back up. So if any builder wouldn't mind stepping down, I would appreciate that.
I'll step down. I would just want to thank you, KG, for hosting this. Thank you for us to speak. It's very late here. I'm gonna step down now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kino. Appreciate you.
I'm so glad that he did that, because I was literally going to come in and be like, Kino, you need to step down. It's late. Go to bed.
Camaraderie.
I need you dancing tomorrow, sir.
I'm also going to step down for a moment while the wonderful KDP fills in. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you, Jesse. If anybody has any questions, of course, I'll bring you back up. All right, welcome to the panel, Katie, Rob D, Funding Jim, and Havid PulseChain. I saw Gary's hand up first. What you got for us, Gary?
First, I want to show a real appreciation for all of the builders, the people that have created new products with their ideas. They've had the benefit of the community support. They're giving back so much, both in code, narrative, marketing. They're spending their thousands of hours over this waiting period, basically, to create new things. So kudos to everyone that made a presentation. My question would be, I know that every builder and dev team, they have their own telegrams, Twitter handles, websites, and so forth. But I am a little cautious with all this. Are you there? The spoofs
Yeah,
are going to happen.
My apologies.
Okay. So I'm a little apprehensive about a single. Is there something you guys can do as builders, especially the front-facing ones, all that spoke today? Can you guys go to like one website that would list all of the ways to reach the individual builder information funnels? I want to be able to promote Fatty and Power City and Liquid Loans, but I am nervous about only saying the name and then someone finding a spoof URL. So I think it would be helpful to have a one point of all the listings, if you guys could put that together.
So Gary, I intend to do that with Fatty, and I would encourage everyone else to do something similar as well. Kind of the way Revoke does that, I'm going to basically whitelist a links page on Fatty, and everybody that I kind of know, who I have more or less had a decent understanding of what they're doing. I'm not going to put the new shitcoin of the week on there, but like anybody on this panel, I'm gonna have a link to their stuff there, and kind of a description and things like that. And I'm gonna have links to all the different Telegram groups as well. Where there's at least reasonable integrity, to them. And I'm kind of building out the social media side of things as well. So, people that like yourself that I think do a sincere job on social media, I'm going to kind of get this all in one place, because there's valuable knowledge that we all have picked up through time, kind of interacting with each other. And I think we kind of have a pretty good idea of who's sincere and in this space. Somebody who's new to Hexaco, they can get sidetracked by a bad actor very easily. I think having this and on Fatty is going to be pretty useful, hopefully for people. But yeah, I would encourage anybody else that wants to tackle it in their own ways, because I think that's an outstanding idea, Gary.
I appreciate that, especially things that are already created. The big thing is versus the first years of Hex, or even more recently, the launch narrative about a new L1. I think this is really going to be the power year when it comes to marketing. And so like many of us in the room went to Consensus, and conversations were easy. They were easy because a lot of people there didn't know what we were doing. They didn't know anything about PulseChain. It's just the word didn't get out to those other Ethereans as well as they can once the chain is live, especially. So like the networking element, I want to promote things even if I'm not personally vested, because I believe in the people that have been here, especially. So yeah, something that you guys can come together as a consensus. If it's all on Fatty, that's fine. But I am going, and many of us are going to Bitcoin Miami in like 10 days or whatever. So I want to be able to promote what you guys already have developed as like a one sheet. These are all the things that are launching soon. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, let me just jump in here. Howtopulse.com can do a white list easily that we can, because we get a lot of traffic from the community, we could easily curate that for you guys. So if anybody wants to get in touch with us, just do so.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. So great idea, Gary. Welcome. It's good to hear from your brother. I saw Havid PulseChain, then KDP, then Rob D. What's up, Havid?
Yeah, hello guys. My question is this: when are going to see your projects alive? Because when PulseChain comes, I think that we are going to see only first PulseX, PulseChain, and Hex on Pulse. So that's my first question, and my second question is: which one of you is going to provide stable coins on the PulseChain side? Thanks.
Well, as far as the first question, many of us are already ready to launch. For example, our wallet, you can download it right now on iOS, Android, and Chrome, natively connected to PulseChain. When PulseChain mainnet goes live, we'll support it. So we're ready to go. And I know some other projects also are in the same position. As far as stable coins, we have liquid loans, and I know Power City is doing a stable coin. So I'll pass the mic to KDP for that one.
Yeah, we are. We are the same as liquid loans, though. We won't be launching immediately because we have to wait for the initial volatility to calm down. Obviously, Pulse and PulseX will be quite volatile in the first few months. So to deploy a protocol that's based on those two tokens as collateral to mint stablecoins, it wouldn't be a good idea to launch while it's highly volatile, because then people are at risk of being liquidated. So there probably will be about 2 months-ish, maybe, before those two protocols will be launched. As for other protocols, it all depends on the time frame that it takes to integrate. So a lot of us are ready to deploy. So like KG was saying, he's ready. Portal X is ready, but we need our partners, Multi-Chain and Rubik, to integrate as well for us to be able to aggregate. So most people are ready to deploy. There's projects sitting around ready, but each one has their own time period before they deploy. And stablecoins, yes, those protocols definitely need to be cautious. And I know both teams, not just Power City, but Liquid Loans, are both taking precaution measures. Power City is trying to build a relationship with Circle right now to get native USDC on PulseChain, but that is something that's in the works and not guaranteed just yet.
That's awesome news. Congrats. Keep going.
As for Gary, I know Buck obviously with Fatty is doing it. NFT How to Pulse just said they were, and freepulse.io, Victor, he has a couple of sites as well. And I believe last time I heard from him, he was going to start changing those sites to be more whitelist based and, you know, solid community projects. So.
Yeah, just if you don't mind, I just want to add a quick note on as well to his question that I look around this room right now. I know my token, poorpleb.win, is already listed. Internet Money is already listed on Ethereum. Texan's on Ethereum. eFiat's on Ethereum. So some of us guys are already there, man. We're waiting for the fork, and then the real games can begin.
Well said, well said. And Katie, I know you had your hand up, so I don't know if you had a different point before the question.
Yeah, thanks, KG. Just to do with protocol, there's a couple of people in the community that aren't overly fond of lending protocols. So what Power City did was dive deep into Liquidity's code itself in the contracts. And we found that when Liquidity were building Liquidity itself, they planned to have the vault minimum much lower. It was supposed to be $500 with a gas minimum of $50. But unfortunately, because of Ethereum and no scaling, they had no choice but to up the vault minimum and the gas retainer. So the retainer is what you pay when you initially open a trove. Sorry, it's called a trove over on Ethereum. So Power City were able to reduce that on PulseChain to make lending protocols more safer for the community members. So by reducing Earn Protocol to a $500 minimum for the vault, allows people to collateralize safer. So you need 1,000% collateral to be able to withstand a 90% drop in the underlying collateral that you utilize to open the vault to mint the stable coin. So by reducing the minimum, people only need $5,000 to be able to open a vault. So we're trying to do everything that we can to protect users, as well as bringing great protocols to PulseChain like Earn Protocol and stable coins. But again, protecting our community is our #1 priority. And Power City are also doing things like bringing boxable tiny homes to the blockchain. So on Pixel Park, our NFT marketplace, we have partnered with Boxable to bring 10,000 tiny homes to the blockchain. So this is a once off, it's never been done before, and we're bringing it to PulseChain. So there's a VIP queue with Boxable homes to bring 10,000 of them to the blockchain, sold as NFTs that are redeemable for the house itself. And that puts you in the manufacturing queue at the front of it. So there's like, I think 200,000 people in the wait queue, and these are VIP listed to allow users to jump in front of that queue. So it's bringing more awareness to PulseChain, bringing a centralized company to PulseChain, and bringing new eyes to our ecosystem that wouldn't necessarily have looked at us before. So yeah.
Yeah, Boxable, very, very cool. Shout out, I think Toshi Flow is head in that aspect of Power City. Big shout out to Boxable. That is a very, very cool aspect of Power City. And I'm going to pass the mic now to Rob D and then Donald Brandt. Go ahead, Rob D. What's up?
Hey guys, how's it going? Congrats to everybody. It looks like we're in the 11th hour of greatness. And it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be a nice ride. The question is, I've been around long enough in this game. Somebody mentioned the Miami show coming up. I was actually part of a company that I had open up the Miami show in 2018, raised $23 million. And the project, after about a year, fell flat on its face. Actually, even before that, the problems with devs, problems with here and there. And so I've been around a lot of projects, I've been around long enough to know and hear a lot of great sounding projects. But then once they, either got the money or, milestones were hit, things just kind of fell flat on their face. And so I guess as a question, and also maybe even a suggestion, once this does go live, and maybe with the projects that are live, maybe there could be like a real-time rating, like something up to date, like, these guys they hit their milestones, they did what they're supposed to, they did what they said, and it kind of give somebody a really kind of up to the minute kind of rating, rather than, oh yeah, this project sounds good, let's give them a green light pass, kind of thing. So that's it. And yeah.
All right. If there was a question asked, I apologize. I missed that. But if there was, someone else can take it. If not, I'm going to pass the mic to Donald.
Yeah.
Hello, guys. I've been listening to a lot of good stuff here. I've been in crypto for about roughly 3.5 to 4 years, just primarily accumulating and staking and having a lot of fun doing that. I recently was faced, my brother passed away just recently. And while I was on a trip over to the United States, I realized that I was going to take Papa B's advice and go ahead and open a Chase account. And I was also going to try to open a Gemini account, which was not successful. Their KYC and all the stuff that was included in that just didn't function as much as I wanted it to. It didn't ever confirm me or prove me. It went through the part where your email and your phone numbers are confirmed, but when it came up to the visual, photos of the passport, photos of your selfie and stuff, none of that stuff worked. So my question to the whole group, this might sound like a whiny little bitchy thing, but because I've never converted anything back into fiat currency like a US dollar or euros or anything else, I'm just kind of wondering, what do most of you have that do this on a regular basis? Do you have any success doing something that looks like it's very much cut and dry and easy to do, and something that you might do on a regular basis? Because so far it's been a very daunting experience that has not worked so far. I was in a position where I needed some cash, I needed some dollars, and there was no way I could get to them. So that was kind of like a question, a general question. But if somebody to really field that question with a solid answer, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll give that a try. It depends on how much money you're talking about. If you're talking about a small amount of money.
Well, what's like $1,000? Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, that's a small amount of money. That's fine. You can use. I don't want to sound like I'm endorsing this, but you can use things like crypto.com and stuff like that. They have a debit card. I'm sure there's better things out there that are similar. It's not that hard. Yeah, it's not an endorsement, but I've used that.
Oh, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. That's basically, I think that's the issue that I'm dealing with, is that there hasn't been any person that's been definitively saying, oh, this is what I use and it works, it functions really well. See, because I live in Europe, but sometimes I obviously have to travel to the United States. So in that instance, faced with that situation where I needed to get some cash, and it just seemed like there was just no way that I could get through any of these stages. And I was there for at least a couple of weeks where I was trying to get these, like Gemini, for example, I was trying to get it approved, and it just wouldn't go through. So, and I know some of these.
I'm in a similar boat to you. Just I'm an American that lives overseas as well, so I think I can empathize with where you're at. I would just avoid the United States banking system altogether, in my opinion. But seriously, because it's not set up. It's not a country that's set up to handle kind of weird edge cases like yourself.
So
right?
This is Rob D. I do have a solution. I really don't want to throw it out here right here. So if you want to just DM me, there's actually, I guess I can tell you the name. Barclays is actually custodying Bitcoin and will give you a credit card or debit card that you can pull money off. And I think I'm limited right now to 1,000 euros a day out of ATMs. So if you need more than 3,000 euros a day, might not be a solution for you, but it's, you wait 10 days and you got 30 grand. So it's not that bad. But hit me up and I can give you more information on who you need to contact or whatnot.
Are they doing that globally, or is that just because that's the thing you got to know?
Yeah, they'll sign up Americans as well.
But they'll do people overseas.
Yes, sir. I mean, as long as you're not some crazy war-torn country, or
Yeah, because that's the issue. It's like every jurisdiction you're in is slightly different, right? So they may not serve people, and yeah, like you said, China or somewhere else like that. So unfortunately, it's a
What's cool, they actually do yuan. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I have any Chinese friends that have it. I'd have to think, but you can custodial wons, pounds, dollars, and euros and yen. So I think there's 5. They have 5 currencies. You can get a black metal card sent out to you if you want to be a big baller. It costs more per year, but if you want to have that kind of status, they have like a 24-hour concierge as well. It's pretty cool actually. But they do it secretly. It's not like Barclays is coming out saying, "Hey, we do Bitcoin," but they're behind the gates. They're definitely behind the scenes. They're definitely doing it. I've been using them for years now.
And what kind of minimum size are they looking for?
None. Just depends on what you're trading. I mean, they charge me a percent. So if you got big baller status and you're doing, you're moving some big amounts, they're only charging a point. So that's pretty good. I think if you come in on the lower tier, it's like 4%, 3 or 4% per trade or something like that. So
that's absolutely disgustingly terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at Coinbase, I mean, if you go into Coinbase with $1,000, they get you for like 8% or something like that. So it's better than Coinbase.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of my question too, because the way that these things are set up, when you look at their interfaces, they're not really that intuitive, and it's not very clear on any of these sites, even like Gemini's, how you would even convert your crypto into a fiat currency. So it's like, where is the function? That's what I would really like to see, is people develop stuff like that just makes all of this a lot more easy. And because when you need the money, and regardless of what currency you're talking about, it would just be nice to see a lot more focus put on that, so people that are in this situation are able to get out of the situation, so to speak, because it's very frustrating, when you're faced with it. So luckily I haven't had to deal with it in a very long time. So now I'm just trying to focus on setting it all up so that when in the future, if I ever need to in the future again, I'll be able to just, make a couple of quick transactions and I'll have some cash. So yeah. Thank you guys.
So I'll share just a couple of quick things. Wherever there's fiat money that's transacted, those central entities, whether it's a bank or a crypto exchange that accepts or gives out fiat, they have to, by law, across the world, have a KYC process. Right? They have to know who you are that they're giving or taking fiat dollars from. There's various anti-money laundering and anti-terrorist laws and stuff. So that's just a requirement. You have to go through that process to off-ramp back into fiat. That being said, some processes are smoother than others. The Coinbase, for example, once you complete the KYC and you link your bank accounts, you can easily send any number of cryptos. There's 0 fee to send or receive on Coinbase USDC. All right. And then you simply click a button that says sell for fiat. You click one other button that says cash out, and you have the option to cash that out in a wire transfer, which will normally hit within 6 or 8 hours if it's a business day, or cash out direct through your debit card. And all they do is a chargeback to your debit card. The money hits instantly, right? So you can essentially sell crypto, send it to Coinbase, click just like 2 buttons, okay, and instantly the money's in your bank account. Okay, that's Coinbase.
It's exactly what I do with Barclays. I go through their portal and I buy, sell, move. I do whatever I need to do. So
that was Jesse just speaking. Thank you.
Yeah. Crypto.com is similar. Okay, you can cash out your bank account. By the way, Coinbase has a debit card, right? So you can keep your stuff in your own private wallet. right? You have your keys, your coins, but when you're ready to spend some of it, you can send just enough to spend, send that to Coinbase, cash it out for fiat, and that's sitting on your debit card that you could spend, right? Crypto.com does the same thing. You never actually need to, unless you need a large sum of money, to cash all the way out back to your bank account. You can do large sums of money through Coinbase and through Crypto.com. I would suggest something like True USD if you're going to cash out a large sum of money. It's extremely painless and it's fee-free. They will just simply send a wire transfer to your bank account. It shows up as an escrow, and there's never any questions regarding that. It's simple to on-ramp, simple to off-ramp. If you have large sums of money, True USD is something to look at.
Hey, I just wanted to add this one thing before I go, because I really love all of your suggestions and everything. But could you guys send a message to Elon and have him put like a timer or a counter on the recorded videos so that we can really go back and get to that spot where we need to? Because, all this information is like coming at me 100 miles an hour, and it would be great to be able to index it so I could find it really quick again.
Well,
But
I will.
literally have a counter up here on top somewhere where we can actually see a timestamp, so we can go back and index it at a later date. So maybe somebody can suggest that. Maybe somebody who's in tight with Elon. Thanks, guys.
I'll hit him up real quick. I get my boy Elon to add the feature. No worries. But in all seriousness, I am streaming this to YouTube as well. So YouTube might be a little easier to navigate the playback. I don't have an exact timestamp for you, but all this is being streamed and recorded to YouTube. And also, if you're a speaker and you've asked your questions, please step down. You can always request the mic again to come back up if you have additional questions. But we have some people that I'm not able to let up because the panel is full. Corey Costa, my friend, you've had your hand up. You've been patient. What's up, homie?
What's going on, man? How you doing? How's everything? I hope you're well. How you been, KG?
Wonderful, brother. Thank you. How have you been?
I'm good, man. So I wanted to bring up, because there's like 450 people in this room, and I think it's crucial that once PulseChain launches, that we have these type of PulseChain news type updates and discussion, whether it be Twitter Spaces, whether it be YouTube, doesn't really matter, because they're very successful and they're very important regarding transparency. For example, when I was a validator for another protocol from 2019 to late 2020, it was Icon. We would have monthly meetings. We'd have monthly Twitter Spaces, not Twitter Spaces. We'd have monthly YouTube meetings. We'd have conferences surrounding all of the projects and all the builders on that particular blockchain to see, where partnerships can be created, where collaborations can occur, where people stand on project development surrounding their roadmaps, so that things don't lead into ambiguities and lead into the notion of people not being able to necessarily, I guess you could say, see formality from project founders surrounding their progress. So I really think as an individual who has this, experience firsthand doing this in a previous community successfully with in a layer one community, I think this is just as important, because I think that there's a lot of alignment here surrounding projects, surrounding what people are trying to do. I think it's very crucial that it continues to stay that way, especially when PulseChain launches, because when PulseChain launches, it's really going to be a testament of what projects are actually going to survive and what aren't. And I think that it's very important to keep that notion of transparency surrounding project development and mutual collaboration. And I've seen it succeed before, and I'm sure it will succeed even right now in this community. As we see, we're a very tight-knit community, and all of these projects are here. I've seen numerous different projects in here. So I think it's crucial that these are continuously occurring, whether it be bi-weekly or monthly, whatever the case may be. So just wanted to say that, and thanks for letting me speak, KG. I'll step down now.
I think the projects are going to be different. I think that the metrics alone are going to be way different than what else is out there. And the reason why I say that is because when I'm on these rooms or listening to people or just talking to, Hexicans or Pulsicans or just, this tight niche group that you just mentioned, everybody's just so different. They're so much smarter. And so I think that, just that alone is the projects are just going to be better. And I think it's just going to be a different set of metrics than some of the other projects that, we've seen on other chains.
We still got to break out the echo chamber though, bro, like as much as possible. Cause that's probably our main problem, I would say, is that we're all very good at like talking to each other, but nobody actually, well, not nobody, but like we seem to have a bit of a problem of like getting out of our own echo chamber. So as much as we can do to do that, would be really, really well. Yeah, I don't even know, but it would just be good for sure.
Oh, I completely agree with getting out of the echo chamber. And the big question obviously becomes, how do we do that, right? That's the secret sauce, the holy grail. And I think there are many ways to do that. But one of the main ways I think that we accomplish that, and we already are doing this in many respects, is engaging other communities, bringing value to other communities that ultimately show them a path back to PulseChain. For example, with our wallet, the Internet Money Wallet, we are a multi-chain product, but we're native to PulseChain. So when we go out there and we're interacting with the Ethereum community, the Phantom community, the Gnosis community, all these communities, when they download our product, when they onboard into our product, they are onboarded into PulseChain. And then by extension of that, because we're effectively Switzerland around here, they're onboarded into everybody else's protocols. So as like you and your team launching on Ethereum, we've got Power City on all these different chains. We've got Fiat on Ethereum. We've got Texan on Ethereum. We've got all these different protocols, and ones I didn't even mention, that are in other communities, attracting an already existing user base, and all the meanwhile spreading the good word about PulseChain. So completely agreed. We have to get out of that echo chamber. And I think we as a community are taking really good steps towards that. I mean, even tonight, there was 450 people at the pinnacle of this space. When somebody's scrolling on Twitter and they see what a crypto space with hundreds of people in it, I can almost guarantee there's people in this space right now that have never heard of PulseChain. So agreed. And I think we're taking good steps towards that reality.
Well, what's really going to help is launching Pulse, right? I mean, it's going to get us out of the echo chamber, because we've been hearing these echoes for the last 2 freaking years that it's going to be 2 weeks. So, that's definitely going to help us get out of the echo chamber. I mean, listen, I talk to guys all the time that are just maxis, just Bitcoin maxis with big, big money in Bitcoin, just whales. And it's like they don't want to get it, and it's just, I think that with some of those, even, with the launch of Pulse, it's going to be like, see, I told you, bro. And then they're like, all right, let me give this a swing, because I mean, if they've made so much money over the last, years with something, they're so used to that, they're like, they don't have like the need to change, they don't see the need. They're like, dude, I got, thousands of Bitcoins. I got, a couple of 10,000, 20,000 Ethereum. They don't care, they're just like, they could care less.
I mean, with a Bitcoin maxi, all you have to do is show them the Ethereum versus BTC chart, and then they'll see that they're wrong. Like, if they have just switched even 10% of their holdings over to Ethereum, they'd be up like a lot, actually.
I mean, just to give you an example, I was at the Miami show, and I met a Peruvian guy. He had like 40,000 Bitcoin. He showed me his wallet, and then I was talking to his like secretary. It's like his gopher, he was like this 19-year-old kid, and then he showed me his wallet, and the 19-year-old kid had like 7,000 Bitcoins in his wallet. I was like, holy shit, and I'm trying to explain to these guys, hey, no, but X is better, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah, because they're like so far ahead, it's going to be difficult to convince those guys, because they're already they've already won, so they don't want to risk their winnings, that they've already made it. So for them, it's just like, look, man, if Bitcoin gets to 100K, then I'm happy. So they're okay with the 2x or 3x or 4x. Like they're totally cool with that. It's actually the new people that we want to be focusing on, I think. Like, as much as we want the Bitcoin OG money flowing in, it's the new guys that we want to focus on, honestly, because they're the ones that need the mad gains. They don't need the 4x. They need the 1000x or even 100x, honestly. They're the guys that you got to convince. I know, for example, when Bitcoin hit 60K or something, I had like random people who didn't know anything about crypto and then wanting to get into crypto, but the last thing they want to buy is Bitcoin. They want to be buying like some weird altcoin that hasn't had a run yet, because that's like the only way that they'll actually make it. If they're only putting like, say, a couple grand in or something, they've got no chance if they invest in Bitcoin. But for the guys that have already made it, it's like they're happy just to hold. And I honestly understand that. I really do.
And like another problem I have as well, I mean, it's not a problem, but I'm working on it right now. I get the office of the presidency of Paraguay that they're hitting me up yesterday, wanting to know what to do with, they want to do Bitcoin mining. And they're like, hey, we'll give you free electricity. And, and I'm like, okay, whoa, hold on. Because I'm like, I really don't want to pitch that. I'm like, listen, Pulse is about ready to launch, and there's a bunch of different products that are coming out on Pulse that could be beneficial for, your office and your government and, for your people, so to speak. It's like, I'm really excited for a lot of these, up and coming projects, because I think that there's a lot of utility. And, obviously the lending ones are really simple, but, some of the other ones I'm looking forward to, to getting to know.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Hexy Bastard on that one. The guys, the community that is, the Bitcoin maximalists. I mean, there's so many layers of salesmanship that has to happen to not only convert them to Ethereum, but to convert them to any one project on Ethereum. And then furthermore, to convert them to a fork of Ethereum and a project on a fork of Ethereum. I mean, I agree with you on that one, Hexy, that it's almost like our efforts are better spent engaging with the people who are either already in the Ethereum ecosystem and are already sold on that, or people that are interested in crypto, but haven't onboarded yet. And so that right there represents probably 99+% of the entire world, right? We see stats out there, 1 to 4% of the world is engaged in crypto. But what does that mean? Does that mean somebody bought Bitcoin one time on Coinbase for $10 6 years ago? I mean, yeah, they are likely included in those stats. So the real stats are probably somewhere in the ballpark of less than 1% of humanity engages in crypto in any meaningful way. So rather than banging our head against a wall of people with people who are never going to change their stance, why not target and introduce people that are basically unbiased? And so there are so many degrees and layers of people that we can onboard that aren't Bitcoin maxis.
Well, I think geographically that it changes a lot too. So like I was just in Argentina for 3 months. Almost everybody's into crypto down there. I mean, their peso went to toilet paper. So down there, I think there's a lot more onboarding to be had. But what's funny is that Binance is just rampant there. You in the malls, they have Binance coffee shops, like Starbucks. I walked in and I was like, "What the freak?" I was like, "In Binance coffee shop?" I was like, "These poor people, no, don't do it."
All right. Well, if anybody else out there has any questions, feel free to request the mic. This is an open forum. While we wait here a moment, I'm going to go back in case anybody has missed Richard's tweet and his impeccable timing around this pop in space. If you're out there listening, Richard, we love you, man. We appreciate you, all the hard work, all the time, energy, and effort, all the PulseChain devs. If you're out there listening, We know that there's a lot that you're going through. You got the public scrutiny, you got the layers upon layers of technical intricacies and all the Pandora's boxes that exist within software development. And yes, I know that there's a lot of people in the community that they're getting antsy. You know, we all have those moments, but at the end of the day, as long as we stay focused and we stay united, this thing will be successful. So big shout out to Richard and team and the community, right? Because Richard and team, they're doing their part. But us, you, the community, you're also doing your part, because PulseChain, any crypto project, is only as successful as the community that backs it. So this right now, what's happening in this space, this is PulseChain, and this is why PulseChain will be successful. But if you missed it, Richard's tweet, I'm really looking forward to PulseChain.com mainnet. Surely you've tested V4 extensively and are totally ready for mainnet. You have your game plan ready? There looks to be extremely not much left to be done. So there's just another tweet that is indicating that, at least rather, let me not put words in his mouth, indicating that PulseChain mainnet may be on the horizon very shortly.
2 more weeks, bro. No, but seriously, it seems very soon. It seems very, very, very soon. So, you know, all our patience is finally going to get rewarded. So, yeah, awesome.
What's up, Grip Madness?
Hey, y'all. Thank you for having me up. I have 2 questions kind of related to each other. First of all, I know that Richard and others may not be into NFTs as much as maybe I am, or some others in this space might be, but I'm curious if anyone has talked about any prospects or any ideas about NFTs on PulseChain, number 1. And number 2, as my name implies, I do some Grip Madness, and I wanted to see if I needed permissions to create a grip piece of the logo of PulseChain, and who I might be able to talk to see if I could get permissions to do that if I need to.
Sorry, ask that again. Permissions to do what?
A grip piece. So my name, Grip Madness, I do like artwork on skateboards, and then like I turn those into NFTs in my own little way. And I wanted to know if I could do a piece of the PulseChain logo on Grip.
I don't. Well, first of all, as a skater coming from a skateboarding background, I don't know why you need permission. Bro, it's decentralized. Go for it. Build. Let's go. Do it.
I think if you go to the PulseChain website, there's a media section. I think Richard's got a fair use license.
Okay, right on. I guess I should check
all
that
that
out
stuff.
more.
Yeah, and then I guess in terms of the NFT stuff, there's at least 2 NFT projects. One of them's being run by Power City, and the other one's being run by Mintra. I don't think Mintra is here today, so they're definitely doing that. I'm supporting NFTs in Fatty.io now as well, so that's a feature that we're building out. So I'm not a big NFT guy, but we definitely want to bring those people into the community. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be happening here, and I might even make a fun NFT myself if I can get around it, if I can get the time to do it. So even though I don't like NFTs, so yeah, I guess this is the Wild West. Basically, there's a land grab going on here, and you can basically do whatever you want. And we're all kind of testimony to that. We're all doing different things. So yeah, your skateboard thing could work.
Well, thank you both for your responses. The only reason I ask is because I didn't really know if, you might need permissions to use the logo if someone was creating it. I didn't want to just walk on them, But yeah, thank you. Followed Fatty here and KG. I appreciate your responses, and I appreciate you having me up on the stage. I'll step down. Thank you.
Hey,
Hey, Grib.
Look, as far as NFT goes, in the artwork, Tetra will offer the ability to stake NFTs in the future, so that's something to look forward to as well.
And I saw David listening in the
Did he
group.
leave?
I had a question about being a validator. After the launch, does latency like geographically matter a whole lot with being a validator? Just because I've got enough means to put. I mean, if I need 32 million PLS to be a validator, what if I put a server in various different countries? That's kind of like the premise, the idea. Is latency going to help me? So like if I'm validating and let's say, United States, am I going to capture the transactions around that server versus a server that would be in Europe? Like how does that work?
And I will yield that question to someone else if they have the answer. But well, hey, I see David Feeder out there in the audience. David, if you
That's
want
what
to
I just
request
said.
the mic,
I see him
brother,
out there, man. Pull him up, man.
Yeah,
Pull him up.
Let's
We
bring
need
in
him
the
at the top.
validator.
Damn.
If you want to take that question, brother Feeder, please jump up to the stage. We'd love to pass the mic to you on that one. But while we wait for him to request the mic, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to Mello. What's up, Mello?
What's up, man? Shout out to you, KG, for this awesome space. I wanted to, touch bases on that NFT thing. Basically, all your NFTs will be getting copied. So anything you do right now will be there on PulseChain the day of launch. Now, I am interested. Do you do like real grip tapes with the PulseChain? Is he even on?
I
think he already dropped.
Yeah, he jumped down. But I think what he was saying was he makes the real life grip tape, and then he makes that skateboard the NFT. He has like the physical and the digital representation.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, but this is a perfect space, man. I think this is like the update that we needed. Everyone to catch up on what's going on, what's out there, and what to be prepared for. Great job.
Hey guys.
Thank you, sir.
You want me to answer that question about the validators?
Yes, sir. Welcome to the panel.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Bullish.
Yeah, it's good to be here. So to answer that question, you want to have your latency or the lag of your internet be as low as possible, but it really doesn't matter what country you're in. You can run a validator anywhere in the world and it'll work the same and you'll still validate the same blocks. But you want to have decent internet. Really, the rule of thumb is if you can stream YouTube on high definition without any lag or any buffering, then your internet's good enough to be a validator because you could really do it from home. It's not that bad. And that's about it. It's pretty easy. You only need one server.
Okay, just because the question it came up from a friend of mine that he's been in Forex for a long time, and he's got his servers on the CME, on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, just because he needs faster time. He's like a microsecond to him is money. So I thought maybe that it works the same for this.
Thankfully, it's not that bad for PulseChain. I think each slot your validator has like 3 seconds to answer, so it's not that bad at all. Which 3 seconds for a computer is like an eternity. So yeah, totally not a problem. You can be anywhere in the world. And it's just one thing to say real quick. Gamma DevOps, he's actually about to test it right now. Never try to run 2 validators at the same time with the same private keys because you will get slashed. You should really only ever run 1 computer at a time. And if you want to have a spare as a backup, that's great. Just leave it in the box, like on your shelf. And if your regular validator computer ever dies or blows up, then you can just grab the fresh one off the shelf and just set it up. That'll be faster.
So would you suggest then, I guess I shouldn't be saying this, but fuck it. So with 500 million PLS, should I just divide that up into different validators, into different addresses, and then just throw them all around the world?
No, you can just take all that pulse and all those wallets you make. You just do it on one computer, just one, just in your basement or like in your room, and that's fine. That's all you need. And then buy another one as a spare and just put it in your closet and just leave it in the box and just don't open it until if you need it, just as like an insurance policy. But nope, just run one computer out of your house. That's all you got to do.
Man, I love this freaking project.
Yeah, if any other validator questions come up, just let me know.
David, man,
Yeah,
it's so
I
good
have
to
a
hear from
question.
you.
So
Go ahead, Mello.
I wanted to David wanted to ask, okay, with all these validators, right? What is like the ROI for validators? With everyone splitting up, setting up multiple validators, and how does that work?
Yeah, the more people that join and run validators, yeah, the worse the APY gets. So right now on the test net, there's only like 6,000 validators. So the APY is really high. It's like 40% per year. So when mainnet comes out, I expect there's going to be a lot of validators, right? Way more than 6,000, probably pretty fast too. So I think the APY will probably come down to like 20%, probably pretty quickly. And then we'll see how long that lasts. I think it'd be great if that lasted for 6 months. I'm just guessing. But eventually it'll be like Ethereum, where Ethereum has 500,000 validators and they're making like 4% or 3%. So that'll happen to us eventually in a couple of years too. But it'll
Well,
start really
David, doesn't also the price of PLS can affect that too? Because I mean, let's just say PLS, flies to the moon to $1. Well, now it costs you $32 million to become a validator. So as time goes on, it's going to be harder and harder to become one. Is that correct?
potentially, yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, absolutely. It could get harder and harder. Yeah, that won't affect the actual coins themselves being emitted, but yeah, that might prevent some people from becoming validators because they can't afford it. Yeah, that'll probably happen over time too.
Yo, just a very quick one. Want to thank KG again for throwing this space. It's been fucking amazing. You've had so many people jumping in today. I probably should dip off soon. I just wanted to offer, if anyone had any questions about 9inch.io or anything like that, I'm going to stick around for like another 5, maybe 10 minutes. If anyone did have a question about that, please throw it out to me now because it's like 2 a.m. in the UK now and I should probably go to sleep. But yeah, again, KG, legend, man. I love these spaces that you do. And thank you for bringing all the builders together and doing our thing here because you know what, it's good to have this dialogue back and forth between all of us guys. And actually the way that we're going to thrive on PulseChain is by being inclusive, not exclusive. So we're not competing with each other, we're all going for different elements of market share. Crypto is massive and there's so many different places that money can be made and there's a flavor for everyone. So I don't feel like I know for example Buck from Fatty, he's launching another DEX. Like that's a compliment to 9inch because the more DEXs we have, the more competition makes us greater and we're all going to thrive as a result of the competition. Might even kick PulseX up the ass a little bit. So yeah, just wanted to throw the floor out there. I'll go quiet now. If nothing comes up in the next 5 or 10 minutes, I will just hop out at some point. But yeah, thank you so much, KG. I appreciate you inviting me in here tonight.
Yeah, thank you for being here, man. And again, thank you for all you are doing for the chain, all you're doing for the crypto space. It's an honor to be building in this innovative industry with you, truly. And if anybody's on the panel, if you are done with your questions for now, please drop down. I can recycle you back up, but we have one other person who's waiting to come up that I can't bring up because the panel's full. So if I could have a volunteer as
All right,
tribute.
all right, Mello. Mello's gonna drop down. Nice to see you guys. Love you all, and I'm gonna see you on the flip side. Hope we all get rich, retire, and spread the wealth to our kids and kids and kids and kids.
Mello, thank you, brother. NFT all chains with the Kanye graduation bear as the banner. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? How are you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. I'm just so damn excited. I was not gonna lie, I got on Twitter trying to do some other stuff for some EVMs and some airdrops, and I saw this group up, and I was like, oh, finally, thank God. It's been a month since Richard Hart was like, hey, we're doing the drop, or the screenshot, but whatever. Anyway, I'm just so happy, dude. It's been years for me, and everyone thinks at this point, like my family, that I'm fucking crazy, believing in this shit and like doing the burn, all that stuff. And dude, you guys are doing phenomenal. I am so freaking impressed by you guys. Have the internet money wallet, which I've been using since we've been on this damn thing. It works really well. Like it freezes a lot though. I'm on iOS, but it's expected, so I'm only gonna stay on the testnet for now. But dude, great job with the UI and all that stuff. No, for real, phenomenal job. Portal X swap, killing it. That looks, dude, it's amazing just to have something so easily. You guys are doing so well. My question is, I guess, on how to Pulse will know who, what projects are going to launch day one, or who are the players in here? Because I came in at a weird point, so I wanted to know who those players were, so I can get that out to some people that I know in this space. And two, yeah, where's the hub gonna be for us?
KG, if you don't mind, let me jump in. Howtopulse.com, we're going to work on the whitelisting. So we're working on that right now.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome.
All right, what else?
Yes, and thank you, How to Pulse, for doing that. As far as your feedback on the Internet Money Wallet, really appreciate you. Thank you for using it. Thank you for giving the feedback. If you're getting freezing, that's actually an issue I haven't heard reported. So if you could jump into our Telegram and actually report that, because, well, I'll make note of it now, but we can dive a little deeper in the Telegram so I can get some other specs about what version you're on, all that. We're documenting everything. I have not heard freezing yet. So if that's a bug that you're experiencing, we want to know, we want to fix it. But
right,
thank you for using it, reporting.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Glad you like it.
I gotta say, I mean, one of the most exciting things, is that all these tools are coming to this new chain, right? It's not going to launch empty. It's not going to launch and then, go looking for people. We already have a community built in. We already have tools being actively built, ready to go. One of the gentleman's question was, what's going to launch and when? And I think, it's a little bit all over the place, and it depends on the project, depends on the team, the criteria, everything else, right? There are some things that have to wait for, the price data to propagate through the chain. There are some things that can go on day one. There are some things that need to wait for some of the initial volatility to die down. So it really depends on the project's needs. And then, the team. Is the team ready? Are the audits done? Is the code ready to go? There are some projects that are already live on Ethereum waiting for a fork. There are others that are, being wrapped up right now. So I think it's across the board, but the key is PulseChain's coming. And, within the first several weeks, you're going to have a full ecosystem of dApps and applications running on PulseChain immediately. It's going to be crazy.
That is actually a very bullish and crazy point. It's not that, hey, this chain has launched, let's convince teams and builders to come over here so it isn't empty. It's launching or shortly after launch with a full suite of tools. You can practically do everything you want to do in crypto on PulseChain already. I mean, as soon as mainnet's here. I'm sure there's some other cases I'm not thinking of, but by and large, it's covered. And so to me, I can see value to other builders who aren't necessarily going to go to a chain and say, well, do we want to invest development energy, economic energy to be the only protocol over here and hopefully we can bring users? No, it's actually the opposite. It's builders and developers are incentivized to come over to the chain and build cool, trustworthy things because they already have a community that they're engaging with and will back them if they follow the principles that we believe in. And so I don't know of many other, if any other chains that offer that same value proposition from the get-go.
It's unheard of, for sure.
I had a question.
Yeah, go for it. And if you have questions, please do the little hand raise emoji and I'll get to you, but go ahead, ask your question.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So I know you guys were talking about validators and how like someone would need 32 million PLS like to create one and essentially stake. Is there another protocol that would allow someone to stake their PLS? Or is that in development? Or I'm thinking something along the lines of like Rocket Pool or something like that.
I don't
well,
have that answer.
Yeah, there's a rumor, there's word on the street that Alex, the inventor of Hedron, he's actually been looking at Rocket Pool and possibly forking it. The last I heard about that was he found a lot of centralized code in their software that he would have to remove, but it might be possible. So Rocket Pool hopefully might come to PulseChain someday, which would be really cool.
Awesome, thank you.
What's up, System Notes?
I wanted to share a possible strategy. People talk about 0-day, first day launch, what they want to do. I think one of the best things is to move some money to separate wallets. I'm talking for people in the US. There might be similar tax things in other countries, but if you have a separate wallet with no commingled funds, it's only, you've got an airdrop at $0 value. So move it to another wallet and then later on figure out how to get a Roth IRA. Some people might not be aware that you can have a self-directed Roth IRA or regular IRA, a traditional, and use cryptocurrency in it. And I don't mean just like, where they hold it for you, it's centralized. You control your own wallets with MetaMask and Ledger or Trezor or whatever. So it's really just a matter of setting up a trust or LLC and then open a bank account that will accept that type of account, and then use an exchange or however you want to use your checking account to buy your crypto, and then you manage it yourself, but it's all within your IRA. And Roth is a better one because it's tax-free when you take it out. So because we're getting this huge airdrop, I think it's a good opportunity for people to consider that. Make some separate, if you don't know how to do it now, that's okay. Just make separate wallets, put some funds in each of the wallets, but don't commingle it with your own funds. Just keep this as separate $0 value funds. Then when the bridge opens and it has a dollar value, it's separate from your own account. And once you figure out how to do your Roth IRA, assign that account to your Roth IRA. When it grows to whatever value it is, you have the advantage that you got more money in there than you could have because there's a limit. You can only put in like 6,000 a year unless you're older. You can put in 7,000, something like that. So my idea is just consider that, make some separate wallets, put some money over there, and then see what happens. And if you want to figure out, go through the process of setting up the IRA, if it turns into $1 million, well, then it's worth having that for the future. And if you're older, then it's sooner. The Roth, you only have to wait 5 years. If you're younger, you have to wait till you're 59 and a half, unless you have, you're buying your first time home or something. You can pull some of that out, or you can pay the penalty to pull it out. But just my recommendation, just put some money in separate wallets. I have some links in my Twitter account, but the one that I know of is Broad Financial. There's other ones that people have recommended. I don't remember what the names are, but Broad Financial is fairly easy. Get a checkbook control IRA. So makes sense.
Are you telling me? I'm not even saying I disagree. I'm like legitimately asking. Are you telling me you can have a part of your crypto portfolio as a Roth IRA?
Yeah, it's called self-directed IRA with checkbook control. I was surprised when I found that out too, and I signed up for it. And they gave me a referral link and said you could save $250 or something. But just I'm trying to get the word out to do that because it's a great opportunity to have $0 airdrop, put that into separate wallets, and who knows what it turns into later. You want to get some of that tax free.
Wow, that's really cool. I've heard of self-directed IRAs, and I know that a lot of people heavily leverage those for real estate transactions, but I did not realize you could make crypto a part of that that portfolio with the self-directed IRA. That's really cool information.
Yeah, it's definitely a big benefit. So I want to get the word out now because such a big airdrop is coming. Take advantage of it. You can figure it out later. Just get some of your money into the separate wallet. Just don't commingle your own funds with it. So then it's not part of your funds, it's part of your trust or your LLC. Just point your new company to that wallet, not your personal funds.
That's really cool. I can safely say that is the first time I've heard that strategy be proposed. So
yeah, good. I'm glad. I hope it helps somebody. I've got mine set up, just waiting for the airdrop, move some funds over. It should be fine. I mean, I didn't check with an accountant, but I do have the account already set up. So just use a separate wallet, and then if it doesn't work, okay, just take that wallet yourself. If it does work, use it in your IRA.
I will tack that on. Definitely, if you're listening, consult your accountant. Yeah. None of us here are accountants and can give that as valid legal tax advice. So please consult your tax.
Yeah, I mean, I know
and financial professionals.
I know you can do whatever the limit is per year, 6,000 or 7,000, whatever per year. You can put into that through your normal checking account. You can send it there and manage your crypto that way. I know that works. The airdrop, I'm not sure about. That's the thing I'm saying. Consult somebody.
Oh, hey, may I intervene real quick?
I got you.
So when you were talking
sure. And
about
I saw
right
crypto
now,
Josh jumped up.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, but this is really important. So he's talking about the Roth IRA and put it in a trust if you want. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm very well versed in foreign situs trusts. If you guys don't know what that is, something that I have set up, and it completely separates you from anything and everything. So foreign situs trust, look it up. If you guys have questions, just DM me. It's life-changing.
So it's like for an LLC also, or a trust?
It is, yeah. So have you ever heard of those people that kind of deal with the whole straw man thing? You know the straw man theory, right? Okay, whatever. The point is, it completely separates you from your social and allows you to go into you can basically start filing and discharging debt, whether it be fiat or anything, with your social security number once you start going into the UCC. Once you start doing UCC filings for your own trust, which is backed by your social. So to make a long story short, if you didn't want to do that, that's just the power that the foreign situs trust gives you. It allows you to separate yourself completely from your all caps name that is your name. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Which is your name on your social, your driver's license, all official documentation. So yes, you are. I mean, I would immediately, if I were you, going to stay under your name, file an LLC that's under your full legal name. So now you operate that way if you so choose to. But that opens up the path to everything and anything that you want. Foreign sites trust.
So it's not the same as an IRA because it would be taxable, right? But you might have company deductions and stuff, expenses, if you're doing it that way as a business, but different from an IRA where it's totally tax-free if it's Roth.
Okay, so I don't mess.
Similar.
I personally don't do Roth IRAs. Everything goes through my trust, and it goes through the businesses there, and the businesses there pay me and my wife and my kid and everyone a certain, we call it a stipend, okay? And everything's controlled in and through the trust. And at any point, even when it comes to taxes or any of that kind of crazy stuff that they want to come at me for, I discharge any and all debt, period. So whatever holdings we do have is owned specifically through that trust and is completely locked because we are separate from I guess the governance of it gets really deep. So yes and no. It's a little more complex, but foreign size trust is the next step you'd want to take if you really plan on having wealth, right? These are the kinds of things that the really, really, really wealthy people do.
Right.
Yeah, no, and I agree because I'm here in Texas, and I use Quest Trust Company, and they're a custodial that allows you to take RA funds. Even if it's a rollover. As an example, I rolled over funds from a company that I worked with, and I rolled over my 401k into that Quest Trust account, which is completely separate with the trust ID that they give you from any personal funds. But within that space, it allows me to not only invest in real estate and private companies. I can't invest in anything public, but I can invest in anything private. They have created a separate branch, or let me say an avenue to where now, you can invest in cryptocurrencies. Now they have it logged down to like the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, this or that. There's like 5 Litecoin. But with that, I mean, you can roll over, as an example, you can roll over $6,000 and go buy, 30 Ethereum and, let it grow. Right now, you still have the same rules and restrictions as if it was a 401k in the U.S., where you can't, retrieve any of those funds until age 59 and a half. But if it's long-term investment and you have it sitting in a traditional market, and that, it's not going to grow that much, or as much as you'd like, roll it over, get you a Quest Trust account. That's who I use. And then from there, take the option, invest in crypto. I just did that, and I bought like 30 Ethereum. I'm looking at taking another one and buying another 100 Ethereum. So
that's actually a good point about the rollovers. You can roll over your IRA or your 401k into your new IRA. It doesn't matter. There's no limit. If you have 100,000 in there, you can roll it all. You don't have to wait to do 6,000 a year. You can just do the whole thing into that IRA, and then you have your own private keys and you manage whatever you want.
Now, the other piece of that, with this particular company that I'm still working on, is whether or not I can hold my own private key. So that's one concern that I have.
Yeah, that's one good thing in Broad Financial. You can do that. I think there's another one that does that. Broad Financial, definitely. Broadfinancial.com. But I heard of another one. I don't remember the name of it. Okay. You want checkbook control.
With the pensions and IRAs, I always hear about penalties.
Hey, everybody. Just wanted to mute the space for one moment. This is great conversation. It's alpha in many respects, but wanted to make sure that we do keep it PulseChain centric, if in case anybody does have any questions revolving around that, because we could go down these rabbit holes, and they're great rabbit holes. I just want to be very careful because we're starting to get into maybe some tax advice, and we should be very careful in treading those waters. So I'm going to unmute the panel again. If anybody has any PulseChain or crypto related questions, which I understand these tax questions are in essence crypto related, but we're entering into muddy waters. So I just want to just let off the gas just a little bit and reel the space back in.
I just wanted to say, just be careful with IRAs because there's penalties. That's all.
Hey guys, I just wanted to ask a quick question. So I'm from Australia. I sacrificed for PulseX. I missed out on the sacrifice for PulseChain. So I'm just trying to devise a strategy, or the best strategy in order to, when mainnet launches, how to purchase PulseChain, because I missed out on that, and potentially more PulseX. What would be the simplest and easiest route in order to do so?
Well, I suppose the simplest and easiest route would be to swap some of your copied, or the system state copy will occur, the fork will occur all simultaneous, and you'll have the copied version of your tokens. Now, I think the simplest and easiest way would be to swap some of those copied tokens for Pulse. Now, beyond that, if you want to bring in new economic energy into PulseChain to buy Pulse or anything else in the ecosystem that way. We think the first way that we're going to be able to do that is through a bridge. You'll be able to bridge over your Ethereum into PulseChain, which will effectively establish prices. And that'll be the what we think right now will be the first way to bring in fresh economic energy.
So just a couple questions on that. So the copy that I have, I'll be able to see that and view that on my MetaMask. Is that correct?
Correct. On your MetaMask or your Internet Money wallet, either one.
Okay. And then because I do want to bring in more, as you said, economic power, I do have a bit more bank that I do want to push towards Pulse and PulseX. You're saying that Ethereum's the best or the safest coin to have in order to swap once that bridge occurs?
I'm not going to say the safest. That's a term I'm not going to use. But it seems that that is going to be the initially supported way to do so.
Okay. Got ya.
Go ahead, Katie. I see your hand up.
Hey, KG. I just wanted to touch on ratio trading because it was just brought up. I do want to just let everybody know that they need to be really careful when they're ratio trading. So you've seen on V3 and on V4 that the initial ratio was 1.06 pulse to 1 PLS X. So, the other way around. That was really skewed in a couple of seconds and it went to a 3-to-1. And when you look at the AMM bot, one of the community members built a app to use where you can just go put in the block height, which is where the fork happened, to see how much of the forked over liquidity was actually redeployed in PulseX. So the AMM bot does buy up a hell of a lot of the forked over liquidity, but it doesn't actually redeploy a lot of that liquidity. So it was less than 3%, I think like nearing 2%, closer to 1% of the actual forked over liquidity that it bought up. And you do have to remember that the AMM bot isn't necessarily to give everybody the opportunity to buy a bunch of Pulse. The AMM bot is designed to fix the market caps and the ratios of the forked over liquidity and the tokens. So because the supply is 1.2 million X, the AMM bot's job is just to fix the market cap to make sure that the forked over tokens do have a chance to survive, not necessarily give users the opportunity to trade. So when you're looking at ratio trading, be really careful what you're actually trading into, because I did notice on V4, somebody extremely wrecked themselves and made the ratio 1 pulse to 65,000 pulse X. So when you're ratio trading, you need to actually look at the liquidity. So when you're on PulseX information page, you press the 3 dots at the top, you go to info and you look at the liquidity itself. There's also some community projects that are being built for it. So Hans is a great community member who's actually building a little bit like a deck screener, so to speak, for launch. So that will tell you the liquidity, show you the charts, etc., etc. So there is tools to look at, but be really careful if you're ratio trading and the quantity that you're ratio trading. So if you are looking to do it, look at the price impact that it's having on it. Look at what you're actually getting for that trade. So there's going to be a lot of people sitting there waiting for those poor people to make the wrong choices, and they're going to be the ones that profit off that. So when you look at the price of Hex,
100% back what Katie is saying. Definitely have your freaking calculator next to you and run the ratios before you pull any triggers.
Yeah, like if you swap 1 pulse for 3 pulse X and then swap back for 2X that, then you're doing great. But if you end up on the other side, you're going to get wrecked when price discovery actually happens.
So
yeah, that is really good advice, because we don't know exactly. Well, let me take a step back. It's great advice because yes, people are going to get wrecked, right? They're going to be thinking they're getting a great deal when in reality they may be getting an awful deal. And one piece of mind that I like to give out to people is, if you believe in PulseChain long term, then let's look at Ethereum. Okay, you could have got into Ethereum in the 30-ish cents. Well, if you would have not got into Ethereum day one, let's say Ethereum 10x, and you didn't get into Ethereum until $3, Are you mad at that bag right now? You're absolutely not. So even if you're not in on the very first initial second, don't FOMO. There's a lot of risk in FOMO.
I just want to give a quick shout out. I just saw who's in the room. Taylor. I miss your videos, Taylor. I don't know what happened. Are you getting shadow banned from me or something? Because I looked for you out on the tube, but I haven't seen a video from you in a while.
Guys, I just had a quick question as well. So, like, what's the best way to be alerted when mainnet launches? Because I'm across the pond in Australia. So, like, have you guys set alarms, or like, what is it? Are you just not sleeping? What's the secret?
Well, yes, sleep is not abundant always. Sometimes I lean up against a wall, but really it's following Richard. It's following the people you see up here right now in the space. And if you're on Twitter in any capacity, there's no way you're going to miss it. Now, you may not catch it to the minute if it happens while you're asleep, but beyond that, just following people in the community. And I saw Mello, your hand was up, and then Katie.
Hey, so I did come back up here. I don't know if anyone touched it. Bases on the security aspect. I know we are big. I know there's a lot of people that have already did it. Disregard what I'm saying, but there is a big understanding that we need to have with getting protected with your assets, using hardware wallets, choosing the right assets to go into, checking the smart contracts, doing your due diligence with any token, any project. So, please, guys, secure yourselves, Treasure, Ledger, whichever your preference. Let's get secured before PulseChain comes out, so you're a step ahead in the game. That's all.
Great advice. Go ahead, Katie.
I just wanted to back off onto what you said, KG, about missing out on opportunities. And people need to remember that FOMO sometimes gets you the worst opportunity versus, somebody that DCA'd through the first 3 months of a launch. So like when you look at Ethereum's launch, 3 months in, it did take a downtrend. You look at Hex, it took a downtrend. People that bought in a month or 3 months after it launched got a better deal than people that FOMO'd in day one. Richard even said himself, when Hex launched, people don't go rushing in buying day one, give it a minute. But a lot of people rushed in and bought day one, and they didn't get to experience the 10,000x. They got 6,000x, which still isn't bad. But again, that's why a lot of people in the community, especially the OGs, preach DCA. And when you look at previous launches, it's because of the same factor. So when you're looking at PulseChain's launch, for instance, a lot of people are speculating that it's going to launch at 3 zeros and a 1. So you guys need to remember that there was bonus multipliers in the sacrifice phase. So some people are already sitting at a 2x at launch. A lot of people missed out on those bonus multipliers, but a lot of people also got in. So some people are already in profit if it did launch at that price. So to say that it's just going to go straight up into the right, well, that just doesn't happen. We've seen with Hex that there is some malicious actors inside of Hex that are happy to dump the price to cause FUD. That just is what it is. But to say that they could have potentially be in Pulse and PulseX is incorrect. And then when you see a lot of people sacrifice for PulseX to get or obtain Pulse, so there could be a lot of price movements there. But then there's also a lot of people that over sacrifice for Pulse and now they want more PulseX. So remember, volatility, it's definitely something that we're going to see in the first few months. That's why protocols that are launching stablecoins won't be launching the first several months of PulseChain mainnet for that main reason is the extreme volatility that we'll have. So don't go FOMOing, rushing in, thinking you're going to miss out. Look at how big your bag is and how much capital you actually have, and then make your plan whether you're going to put 50%, 5%, or 1% in day one, and what your plan is after launch has happened, because a lot of opportunities do arise.
Hell yeah. I'm literally eating every dump. Dollar cost averaging every dump. So y'all dump, I'm eating. I don't care.
Yeah, let me ask you this: when you catch people DCAing in, my question has always been, is this something that people are doing weekly, or are they doing it monthly? Or are they doing it, strictly based on when the dips occur? Because some people have a strategy where no matter what, every week, they're dumping in, said dollar amount, right? Others, DCA based on dips. Just from a strategic standpoint, does anyone mind openly speaking on what their strategy is when it comes to DCA?
Me personally, I look for maybe 10%, 20%. I'm eating it up.
I just want to respond to what Katie said, saying that I'm one of those people that have the bonus. Mine's 1.9. I'm not selling a damn thing. So
right.
Well, if you don't, you don't mind, pass it over.
Talking
I'll call
about
you. I'll send you a DM.
talking about DCA though, that actually is really reliant on or dependent on who the user is themselves. So a lot of people will DCA at a certain point through the week because they're people that like to stick into a routine. It's the only way that they stay there. Other people are like Mello that will sit there and wait for a a red candle. Sometimes the DCAing at a set point in time every single week is a great aspect for some people that are creatures of habit, but sometimes they do buy on green candles. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, don't listen to me. I just be watching charts, bro. I just be sitting there.
No, I'm right there with you, man. I mean, I look for those dips, and when those dips occur, I buy in. And lately, it's been strictly focused on Hex, right? How do I continue to build my bags in Hex, and then from there, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with it outside of stake it.
Well, you just said it right there. It's just building your bags. I mean, if you're going to try to day trade this or try to pinpoint all the bottoms, you're never going to do it. You just never know on any given day what's going to happen. And so it's just, if your mindset is just, hey, I'm just going to accumulate, when I feel like the price is good, in the long run, you're going to make out. But if you're trying to pick tops and bottoms, it's nobody can do that.
And another thing, there's also a great platform being built on delayed gratification here on PulseChain. So there's a lot of projects going off that. So you can take your tokens and hold them in different vaults and different passive income generating tools for you to, gain money off of the tokens you already hold in your keys in your wallet.
Now, there was nothing specific you just said in that. You know that, right?
Say what?
As far as the protocols that you're speaking of, there was no specific protocol that you.
I mean, because it's a lot. It's vast.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we have those opportunities to choose from.
Yeah. No, I agree, because one of the ones I selected to support was Power City. So I'm in on that sack. And we're going to see how it goes. So,
well, I love yield farming. I'm farming everything, fiat included.
See, I'm working on becoming a validator, man, with this Pulse. Get 3 up and running and make it happen.
What's up, Brandon B, Million or Moon, Minson's boss, social credit score 369. Welcome to the panel, brother.
How's it going? Hey, don't forget to mention Fat Activist. That's I've been taking a lot of time off, going to Lizzo concerts, really making sure I fight the good fight on that front. So I don't want people to not know that. That's my main thing nowadays. Just kidding. But I did want to throw my 2 cents in regards to this conversation about a potential accumulation strategy at dollar cost average. Because I think this is a very important conversation to have. I recently took a look at a lot of the major Ethereum competitors and how their price chart looked like when they first came out. And the common throughput I found was that within the first month, within the first quarter, was typically the all-time low for these Ethereum competitors. And so, even though the past is not a guarantor of what's likely to happen in the future, there's probably a pretty decent chance that the first month, the first quarter, whatever decent dip that PulseChain, PulseX gets might be the all-time low. And in regards to how to go about navigating the space, because there's so much uncertainty. We don't know what the liquidity pools are going to look like. We don't know how the bridge is going to look like. We don't know what premium we're going to launch over Sacre, and then how how the market's going to play out afterwards. So I think it was a recent conversation I had with Furu Finance that really kind of solidified my thinking on this in regards to dollar cost averaging really being the only way to mitigate all this uncertainty. But with that being said, I would want to suggest weighted dollar cost averaging. Like, for example, if you get paid every 2 weeks, your money's in crypto, you have dry powder ready to deploy. Perhaps, you don't bust your load right away. Perhaps you wait 4 hours. Perhaps you wait a day, you look at the market and see if you can catch a dip. Because even in an uptrend, there's always dips. So I would encourage dip buying for sure. Please, people, do not FOMO. And as well, just to kind of finalize my thoughts on this, I would encourage people to look out for a deal. There's so much we don't know in regards to how this launch is going to go. But what we do know is that there's a pretty decent narrative out there that we all understand has a decent chance of being true, which is, there's going to be a lot of attention in regards to PulseChain. A lot of people are going to be FOMOing into PulseChain. And so, if we're talking about people who are theoretically interested in ratio trading, it might be helpful to kind of think about ratio trading in this respect, where if, right now on testnet, if we look, there's like a 1-to-3 ratio for PulseChain to PulseX. That's essentially the market saying that it believes PulseChain will 3x outperform PulseX. So if you believe that and you want to take that trade, go ahead. So what I'm saying is the greater that ratio becomes, the greater the likelihood of there being a deal. For example, if there's a 1-to-10, a 1-to-20 ratio, where you get one PulseChain for every 20 PulseX, that's the market saying PulseChain will 20x outperform PulseX forever. And that's a little less believable in my opinion. So in a case like that, I might be more so inclined to dollar cost average into PulseX, because in that case where there's a crazy ratio, there's a more of an obvious deal to be had. So to kind of summarize my points here, folks, try and find a deal. FOMOing to the thing that everyone else is FOMOing into has never historically been, or rarely historically is, kind of a good strategy. So look out for deals, and then perhaps consider weighted dollar cost averaging as well. There's always dips. Typically within the first month, within the first quarter, is the all-time low for Ethereum competitors. So if you can look out for a decent dip within the first month, the first quarter, and go in, relatively heavy, then historically that's been a winning strategy. So those are my thoughts.
You just never know, though. Like 2020 October, I'm in Ukraine. I'm in a bank, in a crypto bank, and I'm flush with Hex. Like Hex had its run up, and I'm freaking just flush with cash. I got a lot of money, and I'm in this crypto bank getting some cash, and these Nigerians come in and they're buying up Bitcoin, and it just hit 13,000. And I look over at these guys and I'm like, look at these idiots. I'm like, aren't they going to wait till it drops to 11,000? Well, guess what? It never did. And so I was waiting for 11,000. I was going to throw like 100 grand at it to buy Bitcoin at 11 grand. It never came. So who was the idiot then? I missed out on a great opportunity, because then Bitcoin went from 13 to 15 to 25. I was out of it.
Go ahead, Katie. Got your hand up?
Yeah, just another takeaway for people when they're considering ratio trading is, can you actually find the value of something on PulseChain? So it's safe to say that everything won't be starting at the exact same price at launch. So can you find the actual value to anything over there, whether it's the forked over Hex or PulseChain itself? Can you guess what the starting price for one thing is, to be able to guess what the ratios are towards each thing to know the value of them that you're trading into? Because if you can't work out the value of even one asset over there, you probably don't know if you're trading on the right ratio. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And that, ratio trading, some people will make a lot of money when the value is established, and some people will lose a lot of money. So you should really trust your skills one way or another. But the best advice that I can give, again, I kind of spoke to it earlier, but for whatever it's worth, don't FOMO. And I say that only from personal experience. I have FOMO'd in crypto. I've FOMO'd in and I FOMO'd out, and every single time so far, 100% of the time of FOMOing in or out, I've been wrecked. Whenever I don't make a sound decision with a solid game plan as I've established it, and stuck to my guns, I've lost. So maybe people win with FOMO. In my experience, I've never won with FOMO. So take that for what it's worth out there. And if anybody has any questions, again, this is a completely open space. I see a lot of awesome galaxy brains out there. Please feel free to jump up, ask your questions, share your perspective.
I'm going to jump down, KG, but thank you again for hosting these spaces. It's awesome. You bring the community together, and it's much appreciated.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I got to bounce too. It's like 4 a.m. where I'm at. So that's awesome, man. This is great space. One of the best ever.
Hey, thank you both so much. Likewise, Katie, you bring a lot of fire, alpha. You put in the hard work, and we all appreciate you and what you do as well. So thank you so much. And I guess on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this space up. I think we've had a solid 3 hours. We've had a lot of great discussion. We've had a lot of great updates. And I think that we showed force tonight as a community. We hit a peak of about 470 people tuning in, which is incredible. It's a Sunday night. It's 4 a.m. for some people, and they're still tuning in right now. So if we as a community, if this isn't showing the world how powerful we are, how serious we are, how passionate, creative, and innovative we are, then these people just like to be asleep, because we continue to show up, we continue to show force, and we continue to show our intelligence and creativity. And to everyone here in this room tonight, big thank you to everybody that showed up. Make sure you share the space. We're going to put it on YouTube. Make sure the world sees it, hears it, and whatever you do, whatever your skills are, whether you're a content creator, you make clothes, you build projects, you're a dev, you're a music artist, whatever it is you do, make that and make it centered around this ecosystem. Be a brand ambassador and be somebody that propagates the message, because you are going to attract certain people that only you can. And we have to hit every niche. We need to target every target market, because that's how this thing is going to go mainstream, and that's how this thing is going to garner adoption. And with that, I will leave you all with a good night.